the beautiful Hungarian Grand Prix. We are here in Budapest then for round 6. I gotta still get used to the random calendar. Yeah, round 6 then of ALR's Gold Season 3. And oh, I love that picture. We've got a new. I think it's called a landscape now, isn't it? Oh no, what's it called? I don't know. Anyway, all we know is we've got a new cover photo, haven't we, on the old ALR, and I love it. It makes us feel a bit more professional, doesn't it? Which is very unusual for something to me to say. Anyway, and yes, we are in beautiful Budapest. I think a singer sung a song, didn't they, about Budapest. Unfortunately, that's not my style of music. I'm more of a Spice Girls fan, and I really want to get racing tonight. Oh dear, it's only going to get worse then, isn't it? We're into qualifying. We're going to be into qualifying. Of course, there are 3 qualifying stages: Q1, Q2, and Q3. And every time we do lose 5 drivers, don't we, until we get into the top 10 shootout. That is what we're here for in the first part of qualifying. And yeah, this is an old school track, isn't it? In 1986, I think, was the first ever Grand Prix here in Hungary. And just thinking about how great it's been over the years. One of my all-time favorite memories, which is actually Hungary '92, is just Murray Walker, like, almost losing his voice when Mansell crossed the line to win his 1992 World Championship. Yeah, that was an interesting race, wasn't it? Of course, Riga. So I remember watching that. Murray's Magic Moments, I think that was his the older video thing. If some of you might not even know what a video is, it's like an old school version of a DVD. Anyway, yep, we are 20 seconds into qualifying one then, and this gives me an absolutely beautiful opportunity to quickly go through the drivers and the constructors standing, showing us is a big day as well in history of ALR, potentially today as well, which I'll talk about it in more detail in just a few moments time. In terms of the drivers championship, Granty, the man who's defending the championship, started off his defence absolutely spectacularly well, hasn't he? Brilliant stuff there from Granty. He is 11 points in front of Nigel, of course, season 1 champion. It's a great old battle between Nigel and Granty. I'm loving that. 2 champions of ALR are fighting out, duking out to become season 3 champions. Brilliant stuff. But you can't discount out Emerson. Emerson had a pretty poor Silverstone, pretty poor weekend in Silverstone, didn't he, last time out? He has dropped down to a 3rd in the championship. Jonathan has moved up to a 4th. He could potentially become a history maker today. He is 4th in the standards, but he's 40 points behind as it stands at the moment. He needs to can he get some race form on the go? Echo in 5th position. He's also dropped down. He's also dropped down 1 position as well. Farf is 6th. Fisher, the biggest mover last time out, an incredible drive up 15 positions to 7th after that incredible drive in Silverstone. I sold him short last week, and I really apologise. He's won 5 races in ALR, not 4. He's won 5. That is incredible. He won 5 in his debut last time out. Kingzone's retired from the session, and that's not a good start at all for Kingzone, is it? Of course, Kingzone is driving today, reserving for the race and points, and we'll talk about that in a few moments' time. I think we've got a debutant, have we, in the field? Yes, we have indeed, and we'll talk about him in just a few moments' time. You might, anyone who's familiar with the ALR scene will know about Ghost, won't they? Of course, Ghost Recon, but we'll talk about him in just a few moments. So I'm just watching Echo there out on track at the moment now. Anyway, I'll get distracted all the time. Steve in 8th position, he's dropped down a position. Roscoe moving up to 9th, and Mr. Elite dropping down to 10th position. Mr. Elite not here tonight. He has gone to watch Arsenal add to Emirates then. So good luck with that. I got the last time I was watching, I think it was 0-0 last time I said that, so I have no idea what's going on in the Arsenal game. If anyone cares and they like to tell me, then yeah, put it in the comment section. In the constructors, we have got Williams, who have moved back up to the top of the standings as well, and so Williams are now on 97 points. The constructors is so nip and tuck, isn't it? It's incredible. 2nd position is Mercedes. They've dropped down 1 position then in the constructors, so they are 6 points behind. Alfa Romeo, great team of which we're watching now, actually, Echo and Jonathan. Brilliant team they are. Here comes car 24 Echo. Then he's the first man out of the pits now. Then we've got Racing Point in 4th position on 76 points. Ferrari 53 points back from the leaders, and 32 points back. So at the moment it's the table of 2 halves in the constructors, isn't it? 32 points separates Racing Point and Ferrari. Then it's very close set after that, is because then we have Haas, and who are 9 points, only 9 points behind Ferrari. Then Toro Rosso moving up 3 positions there, didn't they? Because Toro Rosso got an incredible driver lineup, haven't they? But they've really struggled to start the season off. But that win by Fisher really elevated them, haven't they? And elevated them at the constructor standings. McLaren there have dropped down 1 position. So has Renault and Red Bull. The first ever ALR Constructors Champions are way down at the bottom of the table at the moment. So something needs to change on that front, doesn't it, for the Red Bull team? I'm just watching Echo as he's come through the second sector now, and now we're coming up to the turn 13 now then, Echo is, and you can see then it's a very technical dust bowl of a track, isn't it? The Hungarian Grand Prix it's really it really does show your stuff, doesn't it? If you can get a good lap around here, then you are a good driver. Talking of good drivers, then Jonathan there absolutely dominated this race last season, didn't he? He basically waltzed away. He had a 20-second margin, I think, over second place, which is absolutely incredible in league racing. It really is. So yeah, hats off to Jonathan there. Fantastic stuff as well. We've got another debut on V Todd. We're coming on V Todd a bit later on as well. We've got a Mercedes out on track as well. It's Mumford. Of course, Mumford in his debut last week had a fantastic drive. Absolutely spectacular stuff from Mumford. Really impressive stuff then, wasn't he? Anyway, let's go on board then with Ghost then. So he is making his debut tonight. Look at that understeer on that Renault then. So Ghost then, everyone who is familiar to the silver brand of ALR, he is definitely very much ever-present figure in silver, isn't he? Cracking driver as well. So he's making his debut here tonight in gold, and let's see what Ghost can do then as he comes through turn 40, the final turn now. Then you can see a feather in the front, then accelerating away. Then here comes up to the line now as well. Oh, getting a bit squirmy on the loud pedal there, and he's done a 17.4 there. So he's 700 a second away from Echo, and one of those Red Bull coming out on track just behind him then. And we've got another Red Bull actually just about to start as well. So Mumford then is on track, and we're on board with Mumford then as he is, so Lights has gone fastest on a 17 flat there. So well done to the second Red Bull driver. We've seen Matt coming out of the pits, and we've just seen Lights coming out as well then. And I have really neglected you guys in the chat there. I apologise. Yeah, I've been all over the show, haven't I, already? Which is basically standard stuff in ALR, isn't it? As I talk nonsense to begin with, and then it just gets worse and worse from there. Jonathan saying, good evening, Sean. Good evening, Jonathan. Hope you're well. Emerson, hello, babes. Hello, Emerson. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday afternoon. We have got Granty. Hey, Shawnee, babe. I don't know. I think Valentine's was on Thursday or Friday, wasn't it? I feel the love tonight. I really do. Here comes Mumford. He's coming up to the line now. Out turn 14. Let's see what he's going to post on the board. He goes third fast road stops. And look at those two in the background. That's an incredible race, isn't it? And that is Samuel, who is Chucky has retired from the session. Oh no! So Chucky is having Sam's got fifth fastest, but Chucky is out of qualifying already in this race. We're on board there with Gunnar. He is the closest one to it. So Chucky making a return. He hasn't raced so far this season. He drove in Mexico last season, and he is out. And it's coming out of turn 4, and we're on board now. And that's a big old smash there. So Chucky will be starting. Wow, and the best is going to start as 15th. But I have a feeling that other drivers to go quicker than him. We have lost Kingdom, who's in the racing point. We've also lost Chucky as well. That's a big blow to the start of this qualifying session. Absolutely incredible stuff out there at the moment. Matt is just starting us up now in the Red Bull. We're on board there with Gunnar then. He is the most experienced ALR driver in history with 41 starts tonight. 41! That is incredible stuff, isn't it? From the Irishman then as he's coming into turn 12 now then. We've also got Grant saying miss your voice on Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, of course. I should have sent you a voice recording, shouldn't I? No, I should do that. I wouldn't inflict that on my worst enemy. Here comes Gunnar coming up to the line now, and he is on the hard tyre, and he's done a 19.986 there. Haas in the background there as well, as he's coming up to the line, and that's a good time there from the Haas driver. Fireshot was right in the mix in Silverstone, wasn't he? I think his season started there. We've got yellow flags flirting all over the show at the moment, but Fireshot car 66 is and there's a Gunnar going off the track there in the racing point then. Yeah, so I think Fireshot had a very good British Grand Prix. Hopefully that's the start of something magical for Fireshot then. Just on board with V Todd. He's another man making his debut in gold tonight as well. Another man who is quite familiar in the silver. And I've got to say, his Monaco performance was absolutely outstanding, wasn't it? A brilliant qualifying performance for V Todd. Can he get it together in the race then? That is the question that is on my mind tonight. And probably a lot of his fans as well. We want to know what V Todd can do in that McLaren. As he is just navigating the chicane now, the Mickey Mouse chicane. We've also got Echo. I like peanut butter on my face. Have a good race, guys. Oh, excellent. I'm not a fan of peanut butter, to be honest. I'm more of a ham sandwich man. As Vital is coming through the second sector now. Nathan Hughes. Here we go, Emo. Here we go. Emerson had an appalling British Grand Prix. Didn't have a very good race here last season either, did he? So I think he's just trying to get all the bad races out the way, isn't he? Emerson is, and then he can focus on. Remember, focus on championship. Emerson was so close to winning the title in his first season last season, didn't he? But Grant, he grabbed the headlines, didn't he? An incredible drive in all the way through the season, not just Abu Dhabi. Here comes Vital coming to the line now, and he's gone fast on the 16.7. Good time there from Vital in the McLaren, looking strong indeed, isn't he? And we got a Toro Rosso coming through the final corner. I think it's Fisher then. It's about to start us up. We've also got I think one of the Williamses as well about to start us up. So I've got a lot of outlaps going on out there at the moment. Sam is going for a second run now on board. Sam DRS right on the money. He goes up to fourth. Brilliant time there from Samuel. Absolutely fantastic stuff. He is up into fourth position there in the McLaren. Brilliant stuff. So I got a Red Bull in the mix there as well. Matt is coming to the line. Matt goes full fast as they're getting quicker and quicker out there. They're removing the dust, aren't they? Off the track there, and they're just getting better, aren't they? And Emerson has gone fastest then on a 16.5. I think Emerson's only ever had 2 pole positions in the ALR, hasn't he? It's an incredible stat. This man is more of a racer, isn't he? Car 25 is. But yeah, qualifying is definitely not his strong point. I'll say it's the same for Grant as well. But if you're getting the points in the race, it doesn't really matter, does it? I suppose. Talking of Grant, he is just on track at the moment. And we're on board with Granty. He's just navigating the second sector as well then. Here is the championship leader then, as we mentioned earlier on the show. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I just seen Bowden. Of course, Bowden hasn't raced since America last year. Unfortunately, Bowden's race didn't, I think, lasted 6-7 corners in Circuit de America before it all went to pot there. So Bowden, of course, a very experienced driver as well. This will be, I think, let me have a quick look then, as I didn't really get my stats up there, which is appalling stuff, isn't it? Granty goes up to 9th only at the moment, so Granty has got a bit of time to find. Yeah, this will be Bowden's 12th race in the ALR. Of course, he made his debut back in Italy as of season 1, so he has been ever present, hasn't he? Bowden has here or there. So good stuff for Bowden as he's back here in Hungary then, so he's been in every single season so far. Here comes Toon then, who's having a bit of teleportations issue. Here comes Jonathan then, and yeah, this is why can this man make history tonight? There has been a record which has been in place since Monaco of season 1 of ALR. And back then we was called HR as well, so that's how long ago it was. And that record has stood the test of time up until tonight, where this man could break that record. And that record is the amount of pole positions that is currently sat on 5. The people with the 2 drivers with the most pole positions so far is Jochen on 5, who had that since Monaco season 1. Jonathan, who is on his 5th at the moment. Can he get 6 here tonight? That is the question. I'm getting so excited, I'm choking. So that is the question then for Jonathan. Can he become a record breaker here tonight? He's purple in the second sector. Let's see what he can do as he's coming up to turn 12. And of course, there's been some modifications over this track over the last couple of years, hasn't it? Well, I say last couple of years, last decade or two, really. I'm showing my age again. Jonathan there is coming up to the line there as well then. So he's into turn 14. Let's see what he does at the moment. 16.5 is the target time for Jonathan. He has gone fast as Toon has left the session. We've seen him having a couple of glitch issues, did we? Stringy is invalidated his time as well. Farf is chilled out as you like, because he's probably enjoying the Hungarian sunshine, isn't he? There's a water park, isn't there? I think it's around the turn 6 area, isn't it? It's a beautiful water park. And yeah, I think that's probably where Farf is at the moment. Just chill out down the water slide. Anyway, Nathan Hughes saying, let's go Emerson. We've got Young Lights. Hello everyone and good luck. Hashtag Jerome Squad. We've also got Gunnar saying it's 4-0 to Arsenal. Oh blimey, is it? Wow. Of course, I think there's a lot of guys saying in the chat there that Mr. Leach should be going to the Arsenal. Oh, look at Roscoe there, hacksawing away at the steering wheel there. Very much incredible car control there from Roscoe in the Williams. Yeah, yeah, go back to Arsenal. I think there's a lot of badge going on about Arsenal not really going there. But 4-0 to Arsenal against Newcastle, well, that ain't too bad at all, is it? Talking of Newcastle, of course, Toon fan, very much a Newcastle fan there. I don't think he's too happy with what's occurring there, is he? We have also got Checky going, whoops, as he's out as well. And he said, well, I guess it's going to get better now, can it? Here comes Roscoe coming to line, then calls Chucky. Unfortunately didn't have a very good start to his return. Oh, and Stringy is in the wall, but he's gone straight in, and he is, well, he's done all right. He's damaged the two end plates, but as far as he's concerned, he can get back to the pits. All four wheels are still on the car, so he should be able to get back to the pits now. And Stringy ain't going to appreciate this shot. And unfortunately I ain't either. I love that shot in Hungary. It's absolutely beautiful to see the cars there really being challenged away, isn't it? But Stringy unfortunately having some issues there, isn't he? And he's damaged the car in turn 4. Turn 4 is a deadly old corner, isn't it? He's going to come out in the pits. This is a short old track, this is. So we got 4 minutes to go. Well, 4 minutes and 15 seconds to be precise. So Stringy should be able to get in and get back out there. But it's just an additional problem there, which he didn't really need to do. We're on board Ghost Recon, as I said, making his debut tonight, and he's in 13th position at the moment. Vital is right up there, isn't he? That's impressive, isn't it, for Vital? Fisher's retired from the session, and look at that, flies by. Turn 3, brilliant stuff, Ben. We've also got Twan saying, good evening, guys. Good evening, Twan. And, of course, Darren, good luck for the race, guys, as well. Brilliant stuff as well. I've got to say, hats off. Thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you for listening to me, albeit you've probably got your volume turned right down. Here come, but I would say turn it up. Well, don't turn it up here, actually, because I think Ghost, unfortunately, invalidated his time. So he couldn't enjoy it's a beautiful sound nonetheless, isn't it? The V6 hybrids, but I do say give me a V10. No, Jonathan has retired from the session. Young Lights has gone up into second position, I think. I gotta say, oh my goodness me, and there's a Williams just flying by. I think that was Roscoe there, who was just navigating his way through, and Roscoe's gonna have another shot. We're on board with Roscoe. Young Lights retired from the session as well. That is on the track there, so that's not good for Lights there, so hopefully doesn't cause too many fracards behind him. So in the drop zone at the moment, then we have Chucky, who's in the drop zone. Both Ferraris, Farf and Stringy, are very much in the drop zones at the moment. My goodness me, both Ferraris are going to have to get on with it and get out there. Well, Farf is out there at the moment. Stringy at the moment is still repairing the car, and hopefully he'll be out there in just a few moments. We have lost Chucky and King, so unfortunately we've lost 2 drivers already in this session, but we still have 3 more to weed out as well. Gunar's also on the cusp as well, so is Roscoe. I think Gunnar hasn't done his fastest time on the hard compound tire though, so there's more in the bag there from the Irishman. And I gotta say, I'm feeling a bit nervous at this stage of the race, stage of qualifying. There's a lot of people watching. Oh my goodness me! Here comes. I think it's probably because of the stars on the screen, though, isn't it? I mean, look at these stars we got in action here tonight. We're on board with one of them. Here's Roscoe moving up to 14th position. Brilliant stuff from Roscoe. Toon is back in the session as well. I think he's looked at the score in disgust and come back in, and I don't blame him, to be honest. It's difficult to be a Newcastle fan, isn't it? I do share some. I do share some sympathy being a Liverpool fan for so many years and having all sorts of banter and all that kind of stuff being thrown at me. But I gotta say, I'm loving life at the moment. Look at that, 1,000 a second Ghost Recon. He's very much on the limit, isn't he? In the Renault there tonight. Here comes Echo, who's always on the limit. Isn't he? He's coming to turn 4. It's a very oh, look at his purple in the first. He's 10 for a second up as well. Then Echo is yellow flag in 2. It's one of the, I think it's the Racing Point actually, just recovering back. I think he's on it, and I know it's a Red Bull. Oh, look at this! This is incredible. Look at that! Fantastic stuff, isn't it? Here in the Hungary ring. And Echo, we've just got over a minute to go then. So this is where time is going to become of the essence there, isn't it? Really got to, I think Echo should be safe. Well, I say should be. Look how close those times are between, so Echo at 17.4, a 17.4 for Mumford, a 17.4 for Ghost. Farf, it's only gone into 14th on a 17.5. Remember, Farf was right at the sharp end, wasn't he? Hasn't won a race since Bahrain of Season 2, but he's a 3-time race winner in ALR. We got Roscoe, 17.6, 17.6 for Toon, a 17.7 for Gouda, and we still got String out there as well. Here comes Echo. He goes out the third fastest. That is much better for Echo. Stringy is on and up and up. 42 seconds to go. Gouda's out on track at the moment. And Gouda, I think, I think that this is an in-lap there, possibly. Toon there is going to be very close. I wonder, he's going to have to skip a couple of corners there, isn't he? Farf is on track as well. He's 3 tenths. He's 5 tenths a second up. Farf is in the middle sector there. Yellow flags there is when the Renault's going on. This is going to be nip and tuck, and I think Gunnar might be out of qualifying as well. Unfortunately, Toon fan is very much on the sidelines. Farshot is just retired from the session as well. This is going to be very much. This is going to be really good stuff, and as they come into the final corner. On board Farfetch, got a new helmet. Love it. Here he comes at it. He is up into 8 fastest than Farfetch. Good stuff. What about Stringy there? We had a slow car, but here's Stringy. My goodness me, he's all over the show. He comes onto the line. He's 13th. He is into 13th into Q2. Good stuff. Ghost is cruising. Ross goes out. Toon is out. He didn't make it, unfortunately. So Toon is out of qualifying as well. What about Gunnar? Gunnar is out as well. We have lost our 5 drivers in Q1, unfortunately, and that is Roscoe, Toon, Gunnar, Chucky, and Kingdom have all finished their qualifying performance for today, unfortunately. But don't worry, you will see, all you fans out there, you will see them in the race in about, well, 45 minutes time-ish. So that's a shame now for those guys, as they have been knocked out of Q1. But look how close it was there. 2/10 of a second was Roscoe's away from safety there. Roscoe only did 3 laps on one set of tires there, so I think Roscoe probably could have gone quicker as well. And Gunnar, I have no doubt, and Toon, unfortunately, he only had one time before before being knocked out there. So I think that's unfortunately that was due to his losing connection, I think, and that's a shame there. So otherwise I think that it would have been a lot closer as well, but who knows what could have happened there. There's a lot of hard luck stories in this first qualifying session, isn't there? On board with Farf, sporting a beautiful new helmet there. Of course, he was a plain white helmet man. Now he's got a bit grey and yellow around there as well as he comes into the pits, and you can see it's a much more easier pit entry here tonight, isn't it? Unlike the one in where was we last week? Oh, Silverstone. Yeah, of course, Silverstone. Of course, a bit of a long one, wasn't it? And of course, Harry, one of the men in the comments there, sent me one of the most interesting things about pit lanes, isn't it? Of course, Brazil is actually the longest pit lane, isn't it? Which I found quite shocking at first, but if you think about it, it actually does make a bit of sense, doesn't it? Of course, the pit lane does start right at the top of the hill, doesn't it? And of course, you come out around turn 3, and I'm sure that none of you are very interested in that whatsoever, but I love it. I'm a big nerd for stuff like that. As we're now getting ready for Q2, then we just. As I've just had a quick... Oh, look. Oh, you guys are very much on the board tonight. Ghost has just said, just barely made it into Q2, but the important thing is, you made it. We've also got Light saying, Ginger, check out my helmet. Do you like it? I'll have a look in just a few moments then. Of course, Lights, so we'll go on board with Lights in Q2 to check that out. We've also got Toon saying, lagged out, came back in, got into the final corner, and the flag dropped. Yeah, very close there. Toon, we thought Toon was going to make it there. Unfortunately, around Hungary, as I got a lot of XP, I'm loving that. Unfortunately for Toon, there isn't really many places you can really, as I say, take a shortcut. If it was Abu Dhabi, you probably could get around it almost half the time as a normal flying lap, couldn't you? So we have lost Kingzone in the Racing Point, Chucky in the Renault. We have lost Gunnar also in the Racing Point. Both Racing Points are a bit of dust already. Toon Fan, the flag dropped right at the end there, and Roscoe also out of qualifying as well then. So we've got 15 cars going into Q2 in just a few moments as well. As we've got Ghost saying my helmet is still the best of silver. I do love helmets. I think that's one of the more interesting topics to talk about Formula 1, where everyone actually enjoys it, isn't it? Of course, the design of the helmet. Lewis Hamilton's got a new helmet, hasn't he? It's a bit more purpley, isn't it? I've seen a lot of negative comments about that. Personally, I do like his old yellow helmet. In terms of helmets, I think that you should keep your helmet because it's like it's a signature, isn't it? So with football, you try and keep the same number, don't you, as much as possible? It's just who you identify with, don't you? As we go into Q2, then, and Q2 has just started now. We've also got. Alhan has just said, how's the weather looking for the race? Does anyone know? Emerson said dry. Tuna said dry. Joe said I had a quali bang at Kingzone, and I have a new helmet too. Excellent stuff. We've also got Chucky saying we'll finish in the point, and we've also got Toon. Darren wasn't there a lot. I could do. Yeah. Anyway, we're going into Q2 now, and there's a Ferrari then out on track. Who is that? I think that is a Stringy. It is Stringy indeed. He's on the hard tyre then. So we're into a qualifying 2 then. So this is where a lot of the drivers' thoughts really start thinking about the race then. As of course, because this is where you start to think about what tyres to start a race on, isn't it? If you get into the top 10, you must start on that exact tyre which you set the fastest time on. So that's why we've got two. Sorry, I just read a comment there. That's why we've got Stringy on the hard tyre. That's why we've got Young Lights, who is on the medium tyre. We've also got some soft tyres out there as well. Then let's go on board with Young Lights. Yes, it's a beautiful helmet indeed, isn't it? I love the dark. Is it a dark blue? I'm too honest. I'm gonna get a bit sexist here, but I think I'm not very good at colours, isn't it? I might have to ask my sister to come in because a blue's a blue to me. But I think it's more of a bluey green, isn't it? And I love that gold, like that gold like little curve on it as well. Oh, love it. I do get excited about a good helmet. Anyway, Young Lights there is just on his outlap at the moment. We've got the Alpha male. I think it's Jonathan who's actually the first man out. He is indeed. So here's the British Town driver as well. Jonathan hasn't changed his outfit in a while, but of course he does race with the green, white and red colours, don't he? Of course, the which link to his Italian heritage as well. Yellow flag in free. Don't worry about that. It's just guys queuing up. Then there's going to be a bit of a traffic jam, I have a feeling, between turn 12, 13 and 14. Coming down to turn 1, Jonathan is now the back in 2003, the track was extended, wasn't it, to have a bit more overtaking, wasn't it, going down to turn 1. Of course, turn 1 used to be mirror in the final turn 14 and turn 13 and 14, didn't it? So turn 1 and 2 used to basically mirror exactly what the final part of the track was, isn't it? Which is interesting. So they extended that to as Jonathan's gone purple in the first sector, but that's because there's no other times that have been set on the board, so to speak. We got McLaren there, who is I think that's V. Todd, who's had an adventure somewhere. He has had an adventure. I think he's spun at the rear wheels with those hard tyres and has damaged the front end of the car. He has enough time to get back into the pits, but that's not ideal, is it? Back on board, Jonathan then. There's a lovely shot here as well. Coming through the second section now. Look at the rear end just having a bit of a wobbly there, isn't it? Before breaking down into turn 12. This is another part of the track which is adapted. I thought it was adapted around 2005 possibly, but I might be completely wrong about that. It used to be more of a narrow chicane, didn't it? Back when, but of course they opened that a bit as well for more overtaking as well. The famous part about that corner is I think Coulthard had a big old smash there, didn't he, in 2005. Jonathan has done a 17-1 there on the medium compound tire, so Jonathan might be mirroring the same strategy he had last season. Remember, Jonathan was absolutely dominated last season, wasn't he? Absolutely fantastic stuff. When Jonathan's out in front, he's very much a Schumacher-esque kind of driver, isn't he? Here comes Stringy going second faster than 18.4 there on the hard tyre. Stringy is. Remember when Stringy first started his ALR career, he was definitely Mr. Points, wasn't he? He kept just banging in those points as well. Can he get some form back and really start to propel Ferrari up the constructors and maybe himself as well? Ghost Recon making his debut tonight. He is up into third fast mode. Young Lights there is a purple on the final sector. Young Lights is. That's a good time indeed. We've got Mumford, who had a strong British Grand Prix, is an 18.2 at the moment in the Mercedes end. I think he finished 7th in the end, didn't he? Matt was the man who finished in front of him, pipped into the post there. Matt had no penalties at all, did he, in the British Grand Prix? He's down at 18.475 at the moment there in the Red Bull. Who else out there at the moment? We've got Sam coming through the final turn as well, and he's on the soft tires. No playing about for Sam, and he has done a 26 there. I think there's more in the bag to come there from Sam. So Sam drivers have posted time in the first 5 minutes, so I'm very eager to get out there as well. I'm talking about, of course, I was talking about how much of a dust bowl this track is, because I think the more you drive around this track, the track evolution around any circuit is quite an important thing to consider, but around here especially, the track just ramps up, especially in Q3, isn't it? You might be able to find a tenth or two, a couple of tenths possibly. It's that big around here, isn't it? I think the only other time you see like track really ramp up is around the street circuits as well, isn't it? We're watching Fisher there. Oh, he's gone red. Oh dear, he's invalidated. It's time to start us out there. So Fisher, of course, won the British Grand Prix and had an absolutely titanic scrap there with Jonathan, didn't he? Jonathan, I think, did make a strategical error, which I would have made the same as well, because I think I was saying in qualified that medium to hard tyre would probably be the way to go, but obviously it was medium to soft, wasn't it? Was the race winning strategy. Here comes Fireshot. He has started, I think that in Silverstone he's actually started his season off now. Can he now start to propel himself up the order? We're on board Fireshot at the moment. Remember, this man was on pole position in Russia last year, wasn't he? He has a race win as well. I think it was in France back in season 2. So this man has definitely got some very good caliber, hasn't he? Sam has moved himself up to second position. Good stuff there from Sam there. Really, I think he's thrown the cat amongst the pigeons with that time, hasn't he? He's really having to go and make all these guys think about what is going on out there. Back on board with Fireshot, and he is in the second section now, 55.084. Good stuff there from Fireshot as he's coming through the final couple of corners now then, and let's see what the Haas driver could do then. Turn 30 now. Of course, there's so many long corners around here, isn't it? It's a very technical track indeed, isn't it? You need a good car setup, don't you? Very much in terms of downforce, though, you do need quite a lot of downforce on these cars. Bit of a barn door, so to speak. Far shot has done a 17.2 there. He's definitely the races today, isn't he? Emerson's invalidated his time. Echo's on track at the moment. We've also got Fisher flying through turn 3 as well. So let's stick with Echo at the moment then. And we're just having a quick look. As Darren's just saying, just concentrate on the race. Toon said, yeah, we'll see. Gotta have to get creative, to say the least there. It's a shameful Toon, isn't it, to be right back there. But of course, and what makes it worse, unfortunately, is this is probably the worst track to to be starting at the back there, isn't it? It's definitely very difficult to overtake. One overtaking possibilities. Down in turn 1, Echo goes 4th fastest moment there in the Alfa Romeo. Granted, there's just starting his lap now. Fisher is invalidated his lap, but no, he hasn't. I'm telling a lie. Fisher's about to complete his lap. Turn 1 is probably the best place to overtake. We also, I gotta say, there's not really any other bona fide overtake places, really, is there? Maybe down to turn 12, but again, you need a lot of help from the other driver. Fisher coming up to the line there. He's 4th fastest among Fisher is. Like Farshot, Fisher did a really, did an outstanding job in Silverstone. Really got his season off to a start, hasn't he? In round 5. It can, it's never too late, is it, to start your season, is it? But he's got a lot of time to make up, hasn't he? In the well, we're only on round 6, haven't we? Well, I'd say we're only on round 6. These days, these races are actually flying by at the moment, aren't they? Round 6 already then here in Hungary. Of course, we've got a mixed calendar this season for ALR Gold and Silver, which is tomorrow night at 7:30 UK time. A quick plug there for tomorrow night. Of course, so this is Gold tonight. This is what you guys come to see on a Sunday. And really interested to see how the championship hops up, doesn't it? On board with V Todd. I gotta say, V Todd, in the first couple of races in Silver, he was a bit under the radar, but then since Monaco, this man has really been absolutely incredible, hasn't he? Here comes Granty. He is coming to the line now as well. Granty, of course, won the first 2 races of the season, and he is up into 2nd position at the moment. Granty is, and just a whisker away from Jonathan there, as he just backs off, coming down into the first turn there as well. We got at the moment Matt just starting us up. We got Todd starting us up, so on board Todd then. Bowden is on track as well at the moment then. We'll see what we can do then as he flies through. Look, 9700 a second. V Todd is at the moment there in the McLaren car 9 then, stealing the 9 off Ericsson. And if I may say so myself, I think Todd is a much more better advocate than Ericsson. Don't get me wrong, I quite like Ericsson, but yeah, I think might have just outstayed his welcome in F1 by a season or 2 possibly. Todd has definitely not outstayed his welcome in ALR though. He's been fantastic, hasn't he? We're on board with him at the moment then. Can he get a reasonable time then to get himself into Q2? He's a second up in the second sector. And we'll go and let's see what we can do then. Where's that going to put him in the fold then? That should put him in the early 18s then, possibly even sneak into the 17s. We'll find out that. Let's see. He's doing a very good job with Harrison, isn't he, V Todd is? And I gotta say, I love that McLaren. Of course, we've over the last week we've seen a lot of car launches. I think all the cars have been launched, haven't they? V Todd goes 8 faster than 18-1 then, so he's in the early stages of an 18 then. We got Bowden out of track as well. We've got Emerson as well, the man who's 3rd in the championship, I believe. What about Bowden then? So it's good to see Bowden back in the ALR race. Remember, Bowden drove at the Mercedes. I think they had Team Norway, didn't they? Twan and Bowden was a fantastic team, weren't they? It was great to see. Of course, I remember them doing a good old double team, and he's gone 2nd faster, really close there to Jonathan there. Bowden is, wow, and doing a good job. I remember the team Norway racing, as they were called, Young Lights, has gone faster still. These times are really starting to ramp up. 5 minutes ago then, Lights of Jonathan and Grant, he might be feeling a bit nervous. There's a lot of guys in the pits then with just 5 minutes to go then. And what was I saying? And Emerson's gone perp on the sector 2. Yeah, of course, the Team Norway racing team, of course, of Bowden and Twan there, and did a good old double team, didn't they, on Knowlesy back in the second season of Australia. I just remember that race quite fondly, really. It was great. It was great teamwork. If I have to read it, I'll be a bit raging there. But of course, that Team F1 is also a team source. Emerson only goes 9th fastest on that time at the moment. So Emerson has got a bit of work to get get himself safely through. That is not safely through at all. Matt is red all over. He's got a red trap map, and also the fuel is fast as well. So he might have to come in the pits. VTOD's in the pits as well. Stringy there is on a much better lap, and so is Ghost Recon on board with Ghost since he's come through the final turn now as well. Lovely shot here, and now he comes out to the line then, not taking too much curve. Ghost goes into 11 fastest, good stuff. Here comes Stringy then, and my goodness me, that was a gust of wind there. Almost frightened me off. Almost fell off my chair there. He is coming into the final corner as well, and he drifts a bit wide. There's a lot of this track does cause a lot of understeer. It's a very frustrating track at times, isn't it? Stringy there is done a 41, which would have been alright on Spa, but I don't think it would have been alright here. Farf is also on track as well. Both Ferraris are once again out very close together, aren't they? As they're just starting their laps as well. What about Emerson then? I think we've got a bit of a low in this part of the qualifying session at the moment. Just taking a look to see what Stringy is. Look at that understeer on that Ferrari. I think that's what I mean by frustration there. We're on board with Farfen at the moment as he flicks it through turn 3. Fantastic time indeed then. You know, just looking at the comment section as well, you guys are very talkative tonight. I think it might be Storm, what's it, I got it completely wrong. I can't remember what it is now. It's Storm Darren or something like that, I don't know. But yeah, Storm Darren there has really got you guys watching tonight. It's going to be a stormy old race as well, isn't it? On board with Farf. He's on the hard compound tire, Farf is. And that is definitely taking a bit of a punt now. There's only 3 minutes to go in this session. Farf hasn't left much room for it. So thank you, Storm Dennis. I knew it'd be going for D. So Storm Dennis, very close. They're battering the UK today. It took me over 3 hours to get here. That's my commitment. It really is. And also because the fact is there's food here as well. That's another reason why I'm here. Anyway, Farfer coming to the line then. Let's see what he does on the hard tires. Stringy is, of course, had a lot of understeer, didn't he, in turn 2 there, which he's had to abandon the time. Farf is 10th fastman. Ghost is retired from the session then. And Ghost is going to be the highest. He's going to be his 12th. And Young Lights retired from the session as well. What a shame now for Ghost though. He is out of qualifying now, so that's a shame now for Ghost. He's not going to. He's the highest is going to be his 12th for the moment. Then this is where the action is going to take place now. Emerson's in the pits then. 2 minutes to go. Then we got 120 seconds there. It takes about. Well, it takes probably about a minute and a half to get to go through, coming out of the pits then, and we'll see what we can do there. Jonathan's also retired from the session as well. And as I'm going back to the comments, said, thanks Joe. Is he said Storm Dennis the Menace. It really was Dennis the Menace today. My goodness me, that's what you get for living in the forest. You see, it's it's all old country road, isn't it? Farfair is having a trip into the grass there, isn't he? He's having a trip into the country himself. Farfair now getting through the chicane there. Stringy there, you was on board with him. He didn't place the car at all while they're stringing in, and unfortunately he is going to have to go around again, and those tires are not going to be ideal to start with if he does get into Q3. Todd there flying out there as well. Farfair is just cruising. We got Emerson, Echo and Fisher all out in the pits as well. We've also got Farshot who thinks he's happy. Sam is right up into top 5. Fantastic stuff. He's out again though. He wants the bearers time. Rob Borman, and he's about to start. So we're keeping an eye on that. So we're going to keep an eye on Todd first. He's the first man around. 1 minute to go in this Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying session, and as he comes, look at that! Oh, he's all right, I think. That camera angle to me looked like he had 4 wheels off the tarmac bit there, but he's all right. And he's coming up to the final sector now. Let's see what he's doing. Then as he's coming up to it, 300 to a second away then. So I quickly go back to the comment section. I'm awful at this, aren't I? If I see the top 10 or even the whole race for that matter, it'd be a miracle in itself. Jonathan Cox, I congratulate. That was from Toon. Jonathan Cox saying good luck from Young Lights. We've also got Go saying not worth going on to softs, and Joe saying, well, I'm in Cheltenham, mate, so not far off. Oh, you're in Cheltenham, are you? Oh, very well. Very nice. Me and Joe basically next door neighbours. As top that coming down then into turn 1 there. He isn't through yet. Matt has had a red. I think Matt's out of qualifying, unfortunately. Yes, he is. And so he's invalid his time. Matt is out of qualifying. Stringy is almost it's light with fuel. Who else is that? So I think Matt, that's a big blow for Matt. It really is then. On board then with Mumford, Stringy is out on track in the moment as well. Look at that, he's got that Ferrari, is so light, isn't he? He's purple in sector 2, he's 8/10 of a second up. Matt is out, Ghost is out as well. Todd has got enough time to get out there as well. Can he do it? Can he sneak in front? Farf has finished this lap as well. So Farf is very much on the cusp at the moment, and he's just over a 10th of a second. This is going to be very interesting. There's a come for the final corner. Here comes Stringy. Yellow flag at 2-3. Todd is gone. He is out of qualifying, and Stringy's in through. He's up into 8th position. Fantastic stuff. Echoes out on track as well. Who's else? We got Mumford coming for the final turn now. Where's Mumford going to be? Here Mumford goes third fastest. Brilliant stuff. Wow, that's definitely would have surprised a couple of people. Farf is out qualified. Matt is out qualified as well. Is Everson going to be out qualified? Everson is out qualified. Is Echo going to be out qualifying? Everson's gone fastest. Here comes Echo coming to the line then. 3/10 of a second. I think he's done it. Has he? He has done it. He is through. Wow, Track Evolution was absolutely mega in that final part of qualifying. Stringy, unfortunately, is out of qualifying. Both Ferraris have bitten the dust in Q2. Wow, that just completely flip-flopped on his head, didn't it? Oh, as we're on board then, we're on board with the Alfa Romeo driver of Echo. And that top 10 is completely different to how the last minute started, isn't it? That's incredible stuff. Unfortunately then, we have lost. Look, all those guys that was on the medium tyres that have dropped out, and the hard tyres as well. So really, they weren't keen on starting on soft tyres at all there, which is interesting, isn't it? Because this track is very difficult to overtake on, but they would rather start on the medium tyres. Interesting stuff. And Ghost, unfortunately, out of qualifying. So is Matt as well. He invalidated his last time there. V Todd out of qualifying. Farf out of qualifying. And so is Stringy as well. Fisher, my goodness me, he blew a huge side of relief. 100 a second between himself and Stringy. Well, there would have been a few words at that party, I'm sure about that, if Fisher was knocked out there by Stringy. As we go into Q3 then. And well, that was gotta say that was a pretty frenetic final end to qualifying, wasn't it? Young Lights just thanking Jonathan there, and we got Sui. I haven't seen Sui in a while, have we? I'm not sure where Sui's been. So quickly get all the gizmos up. Yeah, so Sui. Hello, come on, Granty boy. Granty going. Hello, Sui. Oh, how nice. This is our. Here we go then, as we're going into Q3 as well then. So we're 20 seconds into Q3 and we're just about to get ready, and someone's already ready to get raring, aren't they? It is one of the Mercedes, it is Emerson, last season's runner up there in the Mercedes set, and he is going to be flying out of the pits there where the mechanic decides to go. I'm not sure what he's looking at because the Mercedes is the first garage, but yeah, really holding up Emerson there, wasn't he? Yeah, I don't know, must have the southern sides, and you can see both Mercedes are coming out almost simultaneously as well. I'm even using big words tonight. I think I've a dictionary. Granty then, of course, Sui's favourite, and we're just going to keep it on Granty then, so no pressure, Granty, as he comes through Q2. They're all on the come through turn 2. They're all on the soft compound tyres now then, so there's look at all that pollen, all that kind of stuff. Oh my goodness me, that reminds you of the summer, doesn't it? Of course, it's wet and windy out there at the moment with Storm Dennis absolutely pounding my house down, and I'm sure a lot of yours as well, but that pollen there, really look at that, how nice is that on a lovely sunny Sunday afternoon here in Budapest, as Granty then is just navigating through the second sector at the moment. So this is an outlap at the moment. So what they're doing on this outlap, and they're just preparing the car, so they do not want to turn up full beans yet because they don't want the engine to overheat. Of course, if they turn up to a max on the OJ fuel flow, then of course that'll overheat the engine. Of course, Dan Murphy told me that. Obviously I'll pretend like I knew, but I absolutely didn't know about that at all, so yep. So I feel like Einstein at the moment then with that information there. I remember him saying it in one of the interviews after the race last season in ALR, so yeah, I feel like Albert Einstein. Anyway, as they come down through, and here comes Granton. He's only had 2 pole positions to his name in ALR, so in terms of qualified speed, Grant is definitely not the quickest, is he? But in the race trip, my goodness me, this man just keeps coming and coming, doesn't he? He's a fantastic driver, isn't he? Same with Emerson as well. Emerson and Granty, very similar in terms of their racecraft. Brilliant stuff. Second to none in terms of racecraft. They absolutely been fantastic, haven't they? So Grant is going the first one to throw his time on the board. Then, of course, there's no whatever you've done in Q1 and Q2. It doesn't matter now. All that matters is getting a time on the board. All that matters is getting a decent time on the board as well. There you can see the audience is absolutely loving life out there as they stand on the grass banks. Granty is probably loving them, but I think he's more interested on those apexes, isn't he, on this track, car 92, and I thought it was car 93. as he's navigating his way through the technical part of the track as well. He's gone wide then, but it's okay. It's okay. I thought he was going to have a invalid time there. So yeah, but Granty there is very much on the money, isn't it? As he comes into the final sector as well. Sorry, the final couple of turns there as well. I've mentioned this before because Williams is the only car that doesn't have their display on the steering wheel, isn't it? Because it makes the steering wheel lighter. Here comes Granty coming to the line then. He's had a very good success in the Williams so far, and he's gone faster. 16! Good time there for Granty. 16.687. Brilliant stuff as well. We've got an Alfa Romeo. I think it's coming in the pits. Is he? No, it's Echo. Here comes Jonathan then. This is what we're talking about now. It's the record. Jonathan comes to the line. It is pole position then. 2/10 of a second in front of Granty then. Good stuff there from Jonathan there, of course, he's going for the record tonight, isn't he? Mumford goes to full fast, but Emerson could be the man to steal the show tonight. He's in pole position. Young Lights is very much on the money tonight as well. He is second. Wow, good stuff so far. I rub my hands with glee at the moment. This is a brilliant start to Q3. And a fire shot and a good start to Q3. Though, unfortunately, he's had a bit of a problem. Here comes Sam in the Q3. Absolutely fantastic. He's Sam right there, isn't he? In the mix there, the McLaren driver is car 19. And I got to say, I think Sam does love some technical twisty tracks, doesn't he? He does very well in Monaco, and here tonight he is absolutely flying the flag beautifully for the McLaren team, and he's coming up to the line and he goes fifth fastest, very much in the money there. Good stuff there from Sam then. So as we're 7 minutes into this qualifying session, and at the moment then we have Emerson on pole position. I think that'll be Emerson's third pole position of his career if he stays there. It will indeed. Young Lights I don't think has ever been on pole position in ALR, so potentially he'll be in the mix as well. Jonathan was going for a 6th pole position of his ALR career, but at the moment he's 2/10 of a second off at the moment. Granty in 4th position, Sam in 5th, and Mumford in 6th position then. So that's just the first part of qualifying, I'll remind you. So we've got a yellow flag there. That's just coming out of turn 3 then. It's one of the McLarens are just coming back into the pits then. On board then with Fisher. Of course, Fisher with 5 wins to his name tonight. Let's just take a quick stat attack, shall we? I think Fisher's on 5 wins. If he wins tonight, he will not, because Nigel's got the most wins, hasn't he? Nigel's not here tonight, is he? Which I got to say, I didn't even mention Nigel's not here. Goodness me. Oh dear. God, I'm a rubbish. I think that's why Knowles usually sends me a complete needs to send me the Paris notices and all that kind of stuff before the race, because I absolutely have no idea what's going on half the time. But yeah, no, Nigel's not here. But of course, Fisher would have 6 wins to his name, wouldn't he, if he wins here tonight? Absolutely, I think he'd be second in the all-time list, which is incredible, isn't it? The short time that Fisher's been here, he's really I think his wins per races is absolutely astonishing. He's got the best wins per races ratio in ALR in terms of, I think it's over a certain percentage or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't work that out. He's gone purple in sector 1 there. Of course, he invalidated his time, didn't he, in the earlier on in that session in Q2, didn't he? But he's got that absolutely spot on, hasn't he? He's coming into the Mickey Mouse chicane now then, and again that is absolutely inch perfect, isn't it, from Fisher then. Now as he comes into the technical part of the circuit now as well, and you can see that there's a lot of grass, isn't it? You've got to aim. It's very much tunnel-like-esque, isn't it? Going a bit wide there. He's purple in the second section. That means he's the fastest of all. I'm not sure how accurate that track map is, but yeah, we've seen Mumford there as he was just enjoying the sceneries there, isn't he? As he comes through the final turn, turn 13 there as well then, and you can see there's the pit entry there, of course, over the dotted lines there, isn't it? Fisher coming through the final corner, and Fisher then, is he going to get pole position? Is he going to be fastest? He is on pole position by 2/10 of a second. Absolutely fantastic stuff. What about Bowden? Bowden's on pole position by a 16-1. This will be Bowden's first pole position. He's come back and absolutely a new man, isn't he? Brilliant stuff there from Bowden. Absolutely outstanding stuff there from the Haas driver. Wow. I tip my hat off to him as of course, the late, great Nicky Lauder would say. That was an absolutely fantastic time there from Bowden. Here comes Fireshot, his teammate. Fireshot, I think, he's had a pole position. Did he back in Russia last season? Can he give it a whole Haas front row there? That's an incredible time there from Bowden. Brilliant stuff. That was Bowden's first ever pole position in ALR. That is fantastic stuff, isn't it? Here comes Fireshot coming through the turn 13, the second to last quarter. There's a lot of time to make there in this session, isn't there? We haven't. I think that we got another round to go this qualifying session in terms of who's going to get on pole position. Here comes Fireshot. He's 6th fast then in the Haas then. Wow. Fantastic time there from Boden. Really, really good stuff indeed then. Brilliant from Boden. Of course, Boden's last race in Kota wasn't really ended quite miserably, didn't he? But today, he has done an absolutely splendid job. He's returned, and he's on fire, isn't he? Boden is. I'd say that would be Boden's first ever pole position in ALR history. Fantastic so indeed. Remember, last year we also had Dan Lieutenant who took pole position here, didn't he? He was fantastic, wasn't he, Lieutenant? Unfortunately, this was Lieutenant's last race in ALR, as he came together with a back marker, didn't he? So we've got a bit of a low at the moment, and as we've got outlets for Echo and Sam. So Sam is going to be the first man to come across the line. So we're going board Sam at the moment then, as he is just cruising around the circuit. He's just basically getting himself ready to get going then, and we're just on board with him now. Then it's got to say these outlaps there probably doesn't feel that important, does it? But it is quite important, because you've got to of course you can't use your ERS, you can't use your you don't want to use up to as much fuel as possible. As I say, you've got to keep the engine cool. So these outlaps is very important indeed, isn't it? And I'll say this pole position around this track is probably the second most important of the season, possibly, arguably. But of course, Monaco is obviously the first one. But I think that this probably is the second most important. Well, definitely in the real world of Formula 1. I'm not sure about league racing though. I think league racing is this racetrack could just produce some absolutely fantastic races, isn't it? On board Sam as he starts off, he's in 8th position mode. This will be his best ever career grid slot, which is absolutely fantastic, isn't it, from Sam? He is very much on the money. We were saying how good he was in Monaco, isn't he? He was brilliant stuff. Night and day in terms of his pace he's improved on from his first race in ALR to the second of course he drove in ALR season 2 in Monaco. And then this season earlier on he was fantastic, wasn't he? But I think he gained like 3-4 seconds over his qualifying time from season 2. That is incredible, isn't it? I think a lot of teams in Formula 1 would bite your hand off to have that kind of progression, wasn't it? Brilliant stuff. I think Williams definitely would anyway. I think if Williams progressed, I think they would actually be battling with the Mercedes in terms of that time deficit, in terms of that time deficit they would gain. So yeah, that just shows how good Sam has improved. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? Yellow flag in 2. I think it's Echo when the Alfa Romeo there, who's just had a trip somewhere. Sam there in the second section now. We got 1 minute and 3/4 to go in this qualifying session. So yes, I hope you all sit back and ready to go. Oh, Fisher's gone from the qualifying. That is a huge blow for Fisher. He was one of the men that was probably my tip who might have got pole position. Oh, he's out of turn 3. Oh dear. Of course, we've had a big smash there in the past, haven't we? I think we've also seen Hamilton retire there as well a couple of times from engine failures and all sorts. What a shame there from Fisher. Grant as Sam does not improve his time. He's 902nd back there, so that's a huge blow. Fisher's out and Sam's retired from the session as well. We're on board Vecco then. He is doing a lot of harvesting, so he's going to go around again then. We're going to be on board with Young Lights then. So Young Lights is on a lap at the moment. Fisher out of qualifying, so the best he's going to be is 2nd position. Sam out of qualifying, the best position is going to be his 8th position. Now, my goodness me. So Fisher was one of the men that was battling for pole position, is out of qualifying. That's incredible stuff. Out of turn 3, a big out smash there from Fisher. That's also the famous corner for where Villeneuve stole the lead off Damon Hill with just a lap to go, which is still heartbreaking to watch to this day, isn't it? Here comes Young Lights there as he navigates over the Mickey Mouse chicane then, and now he's in the second sector now. Let's see what I can do. Young Lights is very much at the party this weekend. It's fantastic to see, isn't it? So far, Young Lights in 4 starts has only accumulated 2 points. He's had a very difficult start to the his ALR career, hasn't he? He's had 3 DNFs and only a points finish to really match his efforts there. But here this weekend, like in Silverstone, Granty's gone. Oh my goodness me! The championship leader is out of the qualified session. Emerson's going to come up to that now. This is a huge blow. Is it? Nigel might have lost out to in terms of points, but that's perhaps not the case. Emerson's just gone by now. Yeah, he's out of turn 4, the perilous turn 4. That is a shock, isn't it, in of itself? Here comes Echo coming up to the line then. Mumford is finished, so Mumford is going to be 9th. Here comes Echo coming up to the line now. This is incredible. It's Grant who's just gone down, and Echo third fastest, fantastic. Jonathan coming to the line. He is on pole position of 15.608. Fantastic stuff. That's his 6th first pole position of the season. And wow, done indeed. Incredible stuff. Here comes Echo coming to the line. No, then it's Emerson coming to the line. Then he's just over a 10% quicker. He might just sneak in front of Echo. Might as he comes through the front turn drive. Watch out for Bowden as well. He's been incredible so far. He's Emerson goes second fastest. What do I know? He is still 4/10 of a second off of Jonathan's time. Then can Bowden there? He needs to find 6/10 of a second, there or thereabouts, then to be in the ballpark. What about who was that? I think that was Young Lights who was off the track there. Fire shot goes 6 fastest. Then what about Bowden? He's coming into the line then, and he's in the wall. Bowden's in the wall, and Jonathan. Well, we got what his Young Lights has done as well. Jonathan has made history. He is on pole position. Then well, he's a bit wingless, but he's on pole position nonetheless for the Hungarian Grand Prix. 6 pole positions of his ALR career, and that is the most. Of course, that record has been in place since Monaco as season 1 by Jochen in the Red Bull. Now Jonathan has eclipsed that, hasn't he? He has now got his 6th pole position of his ALR career. Absolutely fantastic stuff from the British-Italian driver. Really good stuff indeed. Then, I need to compose myself now, but before I do, let's quickly take a look at the gaps from the qualifying performance, shall we? So Jonathan is on pole position, and incredible stuff. And this season alone, though, Jonathan has really made that pole position his own. That's his 4th pole position this season. Brilliant stuff from Jonathan. Fantastic. Second is Emerson, 4/10 second. He improved dramatically, didn't he? Emerson did. Bowden, a fantastic return so far. He's right up in the mix in third position. Fisher didn't get his second time in there, in his 4th in the end. Echo and Far Shot 5th and 6th. Young Lights and Granty down in 8th position with Sam. Brilliant qualifying. Mumford in at 10th position then. Well, that's only qualifying, guys, and I'm already shattered. So this is going to be very much a very tough race, isn't it? As I quickly catch up on the comment section as I've been waffling away. And you can see a lovely, beautiful sunny afternoon once again here in Budapest. Yeah, Chucky there is saying good luck, everyone. Goon is saying good luck, everyone. Jonathan saying yes, record breaker. And Grant going well done, Jonathan. Gavin going well done, Jonathan. Darren, great time, Jonathan. And also Granty, well done. Top 3, good luck for the race then. As we now get ready for the race, which is coming on in just a few minutes' time then. Sorry about that. I had to quickly get the whistle a bit wet, and we'll be ready to get going then. So, of course, then we have got, there's a lot of lappage around here, 35 laps to be precise, and we're just going on the formation lap, so don't worry about that. As all the cars disappear, which I always get nervous by, as I've looked and they've gone. So then let's take a look then. So we've got all 3 types of compounds that are being used then for the start of the race then around Hungary. Safety car and probability, very high. Because this is a bit of an old school track, isn't it? There's barriers close together, isn't it? Turn 4 has been very perilous, hasn't it? We've seen a lot of top drivers there retire from that corner already. I mean, Granty's one of them. We've seen Fisher there get a bit of a squirrel on around here. Ericsson had a big smash ball on the opposite side of the track, didn't he, back in 2014? Ghost said, good luck, gentlemen. Wish me luck. We wish you all the best of luck there, Ghost, as well. So let's go through the grid from front to back, shall we? On pole position, record breaker, Jonathan Coxon on pole position, and for the 6th time, Emerson alongside him. Row 1 is looking very tasty indeed. Emerson needs to eat back inside championship lead. The Grant he's got, and with Nigel not here as well, this is a good opportunity there for Emerson to really pick up some points. Bowden, incredible drive back in ALR action. He's third. He's right up there, isn't he? Fisher in 4th position there with Echo in 5th and a Far Shot in 6th position. Young Lights in 7th position. Granty down in 8th position, but Granty doesn't mind being in the middle of the pack, does he? He's a very good race driver, isn't he? Sam in 9th position with Mumford in 10th. Brilliant stuff from Sam and Mumford. Brilliant stuff indeed. It's an all Ferrari 6th row, isn't it? With Fisher, with Stringy and Farfair 11th and 12th position. We've got V Todd making his debut in 13th position there in the McLaren. Matt down in 14th. He didn't get his final run in, did he? 15th position is Ghost there. Of course, wishing him the luck, and we wish him the luck as well. With also there's an all Williams. Is it though it's not on Williams front row. I'm completely going off there. Roscoe 16th position. We got Toon in 17th position. Gunnar in 18th position. We got Chucky in 19th position, and Kingdom is bringing up the rear then. 20 cars, 35 laps around this Hungarian Grand Prix. We've seen some classics over the years. We're going to see another one here tonight. Remember, Jonathan waltzed away last year, didn't he? Can he do the same as us? We're going to have 3, 4, 5. There'll be a pause. Of course, there'll be a long delayed pause today, ALR, because we like our traditional anticlimactic start. And Jonathan moves there, didn't he? Of course, we've got to keep an eye out. We're just waiting for the wheel spin, and here we go in ALR. No! And look at that, and a lot of wheel spin then. I love it. And then we already got Mumford got up competition as well. You can see, look at them, they're already jostling for position. Go out through one. That's a fantastic start from Bowden. He flies. And then he's got up second position. Bit of contact there. But Jonathan's got one. Bowden is taking the lead in the Hungarian Grand Prix. There's a drag race going down into turn 2. Bowden is on the outside. Jonathan on the inside. Jonathan is taking the lead. He's back in the lead. Bowden's dropped down to second position. And look at this. He's going on the inside. Jonathan's on the outside. This is a cracking battle for the lead. Then look at them all. They've all gone through safely. I think that Jonathan leads. Second is Bowden. And look at them. They're all. Oh, no! And it's all gone wrong. Oh, my goodness me. It's all carnage then. It's all carnage. Far side out of the race. We got a safety car. They're all crashing into each other. 5-second penalty for Young Lights. And oh my goodness me, they're battling side by side. Jonathan and Bowden there battling side by side then. And unfortunately, it's all gone absolutely entirely wrong. Wings have gone off everywhere in the background. Jonathan's got no wing at all. He's got a 5-second penalty as well. Emerson then is taking the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. We got a safety car. Farshot is out of the race then. Where's Bowden? Bowden has dropped down to 13th position. Jonathan is down to 8th and 19th position then. Oh dear, it's not gone at all well at all, is it? But luckily the safety car is out, luckily for me anyway, the safety car is out. They all just ploughed into each other, didn't they? As Farfare is overtaken. Farf is in the pit. Going to have a lot of pit activity, haven't we, around here? And what a shame there really is. Jonathan there has gone from the ultimate high to the ultimate low in this race, hasn't he? That's how quickly motorsport can change, isn't it? They were battling away. We didn't have a very good camera shot, didn't we? But they were side by side going through turn 4. And I thought Jonathan just about got the edge. Mumford there is changed strategy there. He hasn't damaged his front wing, has he? So I think that's all about strategy change here. Because Bowden as well. Bowden had a cracking start, didn't he? He's changing tyres. He is going, I don't know what tyre he's going on at all then. Let's say come through. Jonathan come through as well. The pole sitter come through. Ryan Farshot's left for session there. Farshot's miserable season continues, unfortunately, there in the Haas. Their Haas were looking so good, wasn't they? Unfortunately, the light's gone out and it's all gone at all right then. Yeah, Bowden and Jonathan obviously the biggest losers in that exchange there. So onto the hard tires. Jonathan's gone to the hard tires then, so I wonder how long he's going to get before it gets to the end now. We've also got Farf and Bowden. Yeah, Farf and Bowden on the medium compound tire then. So Emerson is leading then. So let's take stock then after that. Chaotic start into this Hungarian Grand Prix then. Both the leaders have crashed into each other, and that will be investigated after the race. I have no doubt about that. But Emerson there is a lead in this race, and second position is Eka Grant. He has moved up to third position. Fisher still in fourth position. Lights is in fifth. Stringy up to sixth. Sam in seventh position. Ghost is eighth. Todd ninth. Matt is in 10th position. Then we've got Toon 11th. 12th position is Kingzone with Chucky in 13th position. Both drivers are on the back row of the grid. They're 12th and 13th. Fantastic stuff. Roscoe and Gunnar 14th and 15th. Of course, then we've got the pitters. Mumford, Farf and Bowden all go on the medium tires. Hard tires for Jonathan then. Well, we've in terms of the biggest gainers there, that has to be Ghost Recon is up 7th position on his debut as well. Remember, the silver driver is fitting in beautifully well here on Sunday nights then. And we're just on board with him now. Darren has just said he can almost see that could happen there between Bowden and Jonathan. You know, I think I had a really eerie feeling down into turn 1 where Bowden almost went to the back of him, didn't they? And I'm not sure what's going on here then. Into the pits as Mumford again. So Mumford there is coming into pits. I wonder if he's now going to go onto the hard tires and see if we can go to the end of the race then. So Mumford might be rolling the dice here. He was in the top 10 and he was in Q3, wasn't he? He is going on to the he is on the hard tires then, and he will be going to the end as well then. We've got some bit of shenanigans there. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about safety cars in other leagues, hasn't it, really, in terms of all the chaos it is causing. So hopefully that these guys can keep their wits about them. Yeah, going back to the Darren comment there, yeah, they were battling away, weren't they, down to turn one, they were side by side for here. It was very, very much aggressive driving, wasn't it? I've got to say, I enjoyed it, but yeah, it was very much nip and tuck, wasn't it? And then flying through turn 4 here, I wish we had an on-board shot, to be honest. We'll probably see one after the race then, but they just came into each other, didn't they, at that turn there, and it really just caused all kinds of shenanigans at the back there, didn't it? Well, in the midfield. So unfortunately, that hasn't gone at all well, has it, for the race leaders, and there's Echo and Granty. They're already started the race. They're on board as the championship leader, and this has gone absolutely perfectly well for Granty then, hasn't it? So of course he was stringy there. It's got we've got a lot of track extensions here, hasn't we? On board there with Ghost then, who is just behind time. We're waiting for that magic message to come in. We're usually about, there's a couple of laps before we get the safety car back in. The mess has been cleared, and of course both drivers are on their way. The only retirement in all that and all those issues was actually fire shot. There it is! The safety car's in this lap then. But yeah, going back to I get excited then I gotta go back to sensible. Yeah, of course then. So Emerson is now the de facto safety car, so he controls the pace then. Go back to that incident, and yeah, fire shot is the only retiree from that after all was said and done then. And but still, that's such a shame then. I got hit by it's a fire shot saying he got hit by an incompetent driver there. I can't even say it. That's too big a word for me. As we're going to get racing, yeah, fire shot unfortunately out then. They all just backed into each other, don't they? So that's the reason why fire shot's out of the race. So unlucky, isn't he? Lap 4 then. Let's go back racing in Hungary then. And Emerson has got the jump away beautifully well. He's on the soft tires. He needs to make hay whilst the sun is shining. And I mean that literally as well as figuratively, because who knows what happens in the weather. But I think we're going to have a lovely sunny afternoon here in Budapest then. As a fire shot, I've got fire shot on the brain. And look at those up the inside. Roscoe up the inside. Forces chugging wide then. Matt is also dropped behind Toonfan. Toonfan has just gone up through and up into 11th position. Kingdom is down in 12th position there as he's just looking there. And as we come through on board there with King, so here's 20th on the grid. He is now up into 12th position there. Oh, we got Stringy. It's Stringy. Stringy is off. He's off in turn 12 and he's doing an absolutely beautiful job there of making sure he doesn't come on the track there. Good stuff there from Stringy. Absolutely hats off there. A lot of drivers would have steamed back on. One of them is also joining for red car as well. And I don't mean Favre. Of course I don't mean Favre. I mean Sebastian Vettel. Of course he steamed back on the track in Monza, didn't he? And caused all kinds of shenanigans for Lance Stroll, didn't he? So well done to Stringy, brilliant stuff indeed. Then Fisher's all over the back of Granty, the championship leader, isn't he? So Granty there at the moment there is feeling the heat there, isn't he? Echo in second position, lovely stuff there from Echo as they come through to complete lap 4 then. Emerson leads by 1 point, and we got another yellow flag in the background. What is going on here? It's, I'm not sure what's going on. Emerson set the fast lap. Look at this, Farf has hit the back of, oh no, and he's coming back on the track there and somehow, oh no! He's come back on and got into Bowden there, and Farfar unfortunately come back on a severe collision there, and he has damaged the car. He came back on when Bowden was just coming around then, and that's, I think, damaged Bowden's car as well, has it? It has indeed then. It's not going at all. Jonathan is steaming through the field like a hot knife through berries, up into 14th, 13th for the store right there. It's Gunnar. I thought Gunnar was going to have a look there going down to turn 2, but Jonathan there doing a good job there, so he's coming back through the field then. And on board then with Ghost Recon. He's doing a cracking. Sam and Ghost Recon and Viton are brilliant at the moment. Fantastic stuff. It's they're battling away there, aren't they? Look at Fisher. He is really climbing all over the gearbox of Granty, isn't he? And oh look! Oh my goodness me! He's going to go to the inside there. Sam is going to have to go to Fisher. That's an unusual place to have an overtake. Sam's gone wide, and now I think Ghost Recon is through. Is he? No, I don't think so. Sam! Oh my goodness! He's almost he's almost squirming there. It's he has dropped down in 7th position there. Wow, brilliant driving from both drivers there. They could have crashed into each other. They didn't. Fantastic, I've got to say, composure from Sam at the end there, wasn't he? Really make sure he kept the car. He was like a Bronco bull, wasn't he, in that McLaren? Brilliant as well. Granty is pushing Echo. Oh, no, I don't know if he literally pushed Echo there, but Granty is up in the 2nd position there, and Echo is dropping down the 1st position. He's got a drag race to Fisher there. Fisher's now up in the 1st position as well. Where's Echo going? Echo, and Sam is dropping down. He's coming into the pits there. Sam is coming into the pits and going to get rid of those soft tires, and he will be away then. Lights there, just a second back in the boat. We got yeah, I think I just spotted a comment there. I'll get you guys in a minute, but let's just Darren has just said something very interesting. Toon is up from last. It's up from almost last. I think it was 17th or 18th, up into 9th position. So good stuff from 8th position, I should say. So good stuff there from Toon Fan, making his way through the field beautifully indeed. There. So is Jonathan there. So he's trying to put that lap 1 instant behind him, and he is up into 12th already there in the Alfa Romeo. So good stuff indeed. Then as we're on board with Matt, then we're following Toon and we're following V Todd in 7th position then. And Farfar coming into the pits as well then too, so is Bowden, and both of them two clashed earlier on there. They had to do a whole lap with a damaged front wing, didn't they, earlier on this race, and a bit messy opening starts this Grand Prix here in Budapest here in Hungary then. Having a look there, of course, the extended turn 12, and even though it's been extended since 2005ish, so yeah, it's not very recent, is it? Got a bit of a queue forming now behind Toon and V Todd, then, aren't we? And here they come then as they come through to complete lap 6 now. No, we're on lap 7. No, we're on lap 6. Fisher is through and past. There he is. He's past them. No, he ain't, because Grant is on the inside. Fisher's going to hang it out to outside. Oh, my goodness me. Standing on the loud pedal there, but Fisher is still in 2nd position. Look at the background as well. Echo is under a lot of pressure from Young Lights. This is Young Lights' best race of his career so far. Now, Lights did a brilliant job. Mari's having a look, but Toon went there just keeping the position there. Now we've got Kings out, Roscoe, and Jonathan is now joined this battle as well. And we've also got 10 for a second. Look at them all, they're battling 2 for now. Mumford has now got past Chucky and Gunnar as well, and as they fly down into turn number 4, I think we are. I'm losing my bearings here. It's incredible, fast and furious stuff in this incredible Hungarian Grand Prix so far. Both Ferraris are having a bit of a nightmare at the moment there, isn't it? Emerson's now, the gap is 1.4 seconds, so now they're starting to bridge the gap. I think the soft tires are now starting to come to the end of their life, as we see with Echo and Young Lights. So there they are in the background. So I'm one of the soft runners are now going to come in and change and swap their strategies, isn't it? And Glock has just said in the comments as well, and the soft tires have finished. They're finished, haven't they? And it looks like it, isn't it? Because look, it's down to 8/10 for a second there between Emerson and Granty as they come through to complete another lap. So Emerson there is staying out. Echo is staying out as well, but they're going to be feeding the heat. Both drivers are going to be feeding here. We're on board with Young Lights then. Echo's got a slippery car though, hasn't he? Echo in the Alfa Romeo, and he is just staying to the left-hand side of the track then. So Lights is going to go on the he's going to go up and under. We're on board. That's great purchase. That's great traction. He is up in the 4th position. Echo is not giving it though. Oh my goodness me! They're almost merged together. Echo is on the inside, and oh, look at this, they're rubbing wheels, but he's on the inside. Oh my goodness me! And somehow Lights keeps it on the straight and narrow. Oh my goodness me! And I've said that so many times I need to stop. So we're having a look to see what else is occurring in this thing. What a race there. We're on board with Roscoe then, and Toon. Oh, Toon has come back on. Roscoe's had to take a face of action, and Roscoe's dropped out. Jonathan is through as well. Oh, and Toon is all over the show at the moment. He's trying to compose himself in the Toro Rosso. Yellow flag in 2. What? Todd is gone. He's gone out of the chicane there, and he's trying to get himself back on track. And Todd was having a fantastic race up until that point. What a shame there for the McLaren driver. He was having a splendid race in the McLaren, and that has just gone that's just gone all. That's gone a bit up in the air, hasn't it? Really? Yeah, I agree with Glock. Absolutely. Yeah, because Emerson is now dropping down. Granty leads the. Oh, look, he's got DRS as well. I love a shot here as we're on board. Then look who's in the back. That's Fisher. Fisher is coming for his thing. Fisher is 5 wins. He's got 5 wins to his name. I think Granty has about 5 wins as well, doesn't he? In the Williams side. So both these guys are quite high winners now in ALR, isn't they? Very good drivers indeed. Then, and they're going to be battling away. Ghost Recon is having a good battle with Lights as well. Lights got DRS there as they come down into turn 2. String's got a 3-second penalty as well. Matt's up to 5th position. Brilliant stuff as well. Jonathan there coming through the field as well. He's going to go up and under on Toon now, and he almost spins it there, but he keeps control of the car. But Toon is all over the show. He's struggling, isn't he? Jonathan is going to come out from the outside. He's going to go on the outside. No, not quite. That would have been a fantastic manoeuvre there, but Jonathan there is kept the position there. Well, no, he's still in the same position, the 8th position there. Fantastic stuff then here in Hungary, isn't it? Of course, I think he's just taking more of a cute angle there through the chicane now. I think when I first started watching Formula 1 there, way back in the mid-90s, this track did have a bit of a had a bit of a bore feeling, didn't it, in terms of it was going to follow the leader, but it's been anything but that in this race, hasn't it? Here is the pole setter going on the inside, and of Toon there, and Toon is gone wide. Then Roscoe took advantage there and has passed and moved up into an 8th position there, Roscoe. So he's just picking his moments there. Toon is really struggling out there at the moment, isn't he? Look at the gap; it's now 2 seconds between himself and Kingdom, as Kingdom is just pulling away slightly. We're on board John for the moment. Then Ghost Recon and Young Lights are very close together as well in the battle for the final podium. Both Red Bulls are on a fantastic race out at the moment. Emerson has just got by Gunnar and moved up into 12th position as well. Of course, Emerson coming in the pits there. He had soft tires on, didn't he? And now then is Roscoe having a look at Toon. Going on the outside, John, for this. Where are they? There they are. Toon there is really strong. Look, he's got a lot of understeer on that, so in that Red Bull. No, Toro Rosso. It's going to call it Sauber as well, so it's going to be every team but what it was meant to be. And look at this Toon. Look at them, they're climbing all over each other at the moment. This is the problem of Hungary, isn't it? Because there's nowhere to overtake it there. You can have some damn deer moves, can't you? But you cannot risk your front wing there. You can see Jonathan did in the last. Oh, look at this! There's Mumford is now all over the back of Jonathan as well. And of course, there Jonathan is going to be very frustrated. Is going to be a very frustrated driver under that helmet, isn't he? As unfortunately there, he came together with Bowden, didn't he, on the opening lap, and that's why he is so far down at the moment. He is on the hard tyre, and I wonder how long that hard tyre is going to kind of get to the end there. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at strategy at all, basically, being honest. Oh, and Roscoe there is trying to go on the inside of Toon there, and it's not out. It did out there for Roscoe. Now Roscoe's going to have to defend from Jonathan again. We're on board with Jonathan then as they come through on the DRS zone. Then, as you can see, there's only 2 DRS zones down here on this track. Down the start finish straight and between turn 1 and 2 then. Roscoe is having a look there. Lovely shot here. Emerson is set the fastest out of the race. Look at Roscoe. He's all over the back of Toon. The gap is 2.7 seconds. The gap is getting bigger and bigger between himself and Kingzone. Kingzone and the guys in front must be rubbing their hands with glee in there at the moment. As Toon has become a cork in this bottle. And there's now starting to become a trilly train, isn't there? With Roscoe. Jonathan, look at that. Jonathan's going to go on the grass there. Oh my goodness me. I thought that would have been a bold move there from the British Italian driver. Not quite though, as Roscoe parked his car in the absolutely perfect place. Really did then. Yeah, so the trade at the moment then is Toon, Roscoe, Jonathan, Mumford, Chucky, and Emerson is 2 seconds back. We've got a couple of penalties now starting to creep into the equation as well. Then, so this is going to be very much this. You've got to keep yourself focused, don't you, in these races? There's 35 laps around here as well. It's a horrible track, isn't it, to keep your concentration? It's so technical, so twisty. It's like a big old go-kart track, but the better car. Not Argentina, not Buenos Aires. I mean Hungary. It's they come through turn 13 once again. Then Roscoe is struggling to turn that car as well, isn't he? But look at Toon there. Look at that. That car is really struggling, isn't it? I'm wondering what's going on. I wonder if Toon's tires are really struggling at this stage of the race, aren't they? They come through down the start finish straight once again. Now Jonathan is gaining. Emerson has made another fast up the race at the moment. He is the man. Roscoe flying through out of nowhere. And now Jonathan is free. He's got to be happy with that. Where are they? They're coming down the hill. There they are. And Roscoe, they're making a damn dear move there and getting by Toon. Roscoe's gone wide though and back Toon is back on the inside. Oh my goodness me. And now Roscoe and Mumford are barreling away as well. And this is getting very, very tasty as well. There's elbows out in this race, isn't there? Wow. And I got to say these guys are feeling a bit hot under the collar. Oh, and Chucky there also giving Mumford a bit of a nudge then as they come out of turn 5 there. These guys are very hot under the collar tonight, aren't they? As they're very feisty here tonight. Must be the Hungarian weather, isn't it? They probably want to clock off earlier and go to the water park just over that hill. Perhaps. And there's Mumford there just going wide as well then. And that is Emerson. Wow, Emerson is going on the outside. That is an incredible manoeuvre there from Emerson. Last season's runner-up. It's just made a damn deer manoeuvre. And wow, that is brilliant stuff. We're on board then with a man who is third in the championship. Farfar's got a 3-second penalty on a mismode race at the moment. Yellow flag in free. I think it's one of the Ferraris. I think it's Farfar who is cruising on the outside of turn 5. I think he's had a miss up there at turn 4. Farfar's having a miserable day today, isn't he? I think he's waiting for a safety car or something. At the moment, it could be a safety car. Look at this as Emerson moving up and past his teammate and through and up into 10th position there. I think no, it's quite easy there from Emerson's point of view. Emerson's gone on the medium tyres, and Echo is now past Gunnar and moved up into 3rd position. I've got to say, there's been a lot of jostling, and Roscoe's gone wide then. There's been a lot of jostling, but there's only 19. There's still 19 cars cars left in this race then. Back on board then with Emerson then. And we're coming up to turn 4 now. Roscoe is in front of us as it stands at the moment then. Jonathan has now got a 2-second gap already over Toonfan. Toonfan is struggling out there, isn't he? In the Toro Rosso then, so he can't pit yet though, can he? He has to wait for a good opportunity, doesn't he? He can't just come into the pits and just throw a new set of boots, can he? Because it's all about strategy as well. Farfar's retired from the race then, and I think good stuff there from Farfar going into the pits then and retiring. Of course, you don't want to retire on track there because it causes all sorts of drama, doesn't it? As into the pits comes Fisher, so Fisher is in the pits. Roscoe going on the inside. Oh no! Oh, there's contact. There is contact. Farfar's left the session. Roscoe's been tipped around in the Williams, and that is not good towards. He damaged the car. He tapped the tyre wall. But did he? I think that's 2 end plates pointing in the right direction. Fisher, yeah, he is. So he's lucky, but he's only lost track time rather than position. They're on board with Emerson. I'm not sure if it was lag or what, but it seemed to just jump around there slightly. Emerson is now in 8th position, and he's following 2 then. Where's Fisher? Fisher there is coming out of the pits now then. So Fisher on the hard tyre, and I think that should get him to the end of the race then. I think. And Sam there is, look how close Sam is there. Of course, Sam has done 8 laps on his hard tyres as well, hasn't he? So he's still in the ballpark, isn't he? For getting some very good points today. So fantastic driving there from Sam. Grant, he leads. Second is Young Lights, but third position is Ghost Recon. He is really following him all the way. It's good stuff, isn't it? Between Ghost Recon. Brilliant stuff indeed. Matt is only a second back now as well. So is Kingdom. They've got a hard charge, and Jonathan Cox behind them now in 6th position. So Jonathan there is on 12 lap old hard tyres. I think he might have to stop again, but who knows? As I said earlier, I don't know nothing about strategy. Lovely shot. Oh, I love the Emerson helmet there. That's very much old school Hamilton-esque, isn't it? I gotta say, I do love the bit of the yellow there, isn't it? A bit of old and new there for Emerson's helmet. Love it. He's all over the back of Toon as well. Remember in this last corner, we had an over the head shot, didn't we? A helicopter cam shot. Young Lights in the pit as well. Granty has stayed out there. So Granty is sticking to his guns there. So he's not coming in the pits there just because Fisher's coming to the pit. I'm wondering about the undercut. Remember, the undercut was not that big in Silverstone, was it? I thought it'd be massive, but it really wasn't. And now then, look at this. And Toon is going to have to get the fence of it. Emerson is going to have to opt to the outside. And 3-second penalty there for stringing out a miserable load race. Emerson is on the outside. He swooped through, passes Toonfan, and moves up into 6th position then. So Emerson has got by Toonfan. Now let's see what the paces. Toonfan is now dropping down to 7th position, but he's had an incredible defensive drive, hasn't he, Toonfan? I'm loving it. Fisher has just got by Gunnar and moved up into 11th position. Young Lights coming on the pits as well, and he is now on the hard tyre, and let's see what Young Lights can do as well. And then we've got Roscoe all the way down in 18th position, I should say. Vitor just caught onto the back of Bowden as well. So now then they're starting to spread. Well, I would say they're starting to spread up, but they're really not here, are they? Blimey, that's one car, isn't it? Between Mumford and Toonfan, it's a oh wow, they were basically one of the same car there. I'm hoping to read out your comments in a minute, guys. But oh no, we got a yellow flag too. It's one of the Young Lights. Young Lights is off the track. He's had a smash. He's had a smash there, and what a shame there for Young Lights. He was having an all-inspired race, wasn't he? And Young Lights is out of this incredible Hungarian Grand Prix. And that is a shame now for Young Lights, because he was battling away with, and Matt is up in the 2nd position now. And the Ghost is in the pit. He was battling away with this man who was in 3rd position. He was in 2nd position when he came in the pit. Oh, it's a 5-second penalty for Ghost Recon. This is going to cost him an almighty amount of time. Then he's on the hard tyre then, and he's coming out of the pits now. Then Fisher just coming down the down start finish right as well. Gunar's done 15 laps on these tyres, and so Gunnar is just quietly going about his business, isn't he? Where is Sam? Is Sam going to get out in front of Ghost? Not quite Ghost. Look, there is Ghost in the foreground there. So Sam there is very much still in play here, isn't he? So we're on lap 16 and we're down to 17 cars, and Young Lights out, far shot out. That is a shame for Young Lights, isn't it? As we were saying in qualifying, Young Lights it's only had one finish so far in his ALR career, hasn't he, this season, which has been a big shame, hasn't it, from his point of view? Because for Toon now struggling once again, and again Mumford is all over the back of him in the battle for 6th and 7th position. We've also got Fisher and Echo who are holding in on on Chucky quite quickly. So Chucky, this is Chucky's first race season. Granty is in the pits, and that should get him to the end. Then VTOL has got a 3-second penalty. I'm loving these helicopters. Look at the background. That's a Renault. They're really much under siege there from Echo and Fisher there. And gotta say that Chucky is very much feeding the heat, isn't he? I'm feeding the heat in this commentary box. Incredible stuff, isn't it? Toon is in the pits then as well. We got Granty in the pits. We got Kings up in the pits as well. Matt has taken the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Jonathan has bound his way back up to second position then. Where's Emerson? Emerson is in third position, and Granty is in fourth. Mumford coming out now as well. And look, an Echo flying by, Fisher flying by. Where is Fisher? There's Chucky there. Chucky is on the outside. Chucky is battling away then. Echo is taken sixth position, and now it's wheel to wheel. Fisher and Chucky now going down into turn 2. And where is they? Oh my goodness me, that's very close. Where are they? There they are. And Fisher is through, gone on the long way around, but he is through and up into an incredible 7th position. And so fantastic stuff there from the Toro Rosso driver. He is also making his way through the field as well. Next target is Echo. Echo's done 8 laps on those medium tyres. Fisher is bought on a set of hard tyres and goes to the end there. Fisher is quite a way back from Grant at the moment, isn't he? So once again, the undercut hasn't worked there. So Grant at the moment is the man in the box seats here, isn't he? Emerson has to pit again. Those hard tyres are not going to get to the end from where he pitted then. Let me just catch up on the comments. Oh, well, no, I won't at the moment. Kingston's got 3-second penalty. Fisher's up the inside at turn 12. He takes Echo, passes him, and moves up into 6th position. And so well done to Fisher. He is now up into 6th position. Next target is Mumford, who's done 14 laps then on the medium compound, on the hard compound tire, I should say then. So Mumford there, starting on the hard compound tire and really going a long way into this race. Chucky's going a long way in the race as well. He's on 16 laps, 17 laps for Matt there on the hot medium tire, and good stuff. Echo is having a look there. I think he's just trying to annoy Fisher more than anything else, is he? But I think Fisher's a very much experienced driver, isn't he? And he's not going to get phased too easily. Ghost Recon there is up the inside of Gooner, and Gooner there is, oh, look at this, Gooner trying to stamp on a loud pedal there, and they're battling away. Ghost, who's just coming to the pits there on 2-lap old hard tyres, as Gooner has done his lappage quite most of the way through, haven't they? Toon has come out just in front of Stringy. Stringy there having a nightmare old race, isn't he, in the Ferrari? Both Ferraris have had a pretty eventful race, haven't they? And so Toon there is just come out of the pits. I think the Stringy might drop back now because he's on the medium tyres, but those tyres have done quite a bit of laps on them, haven't they? Yeah, let me. I'm hoping that we'll have a break a minute so I can get through these comments. There, it's actually fantastic stuff, isn't it? Yeah, right. There's a yellow flag in 2. That's a McLaren. That's Todd there is on a problem in turn 4. Todd's amazing qualifying, Todd's amazing race is just coming to nothing now, isn't it? Second out, it's just gone all wrong, hasn't it, for Todd? And I can't even speak. Oh dear, for Todd then. What a shame then. He was having a cracking old race, wasn't he? Jonathan now is gaining on Matt, isn't he? So can Jonathan he's having a storm drive at the moment. Here's a question for you guys. Can Jonathan, who was basically last after the first lap, or 18th after the first lap, has barred his way back up, and he could take the lead of this Hungarian Grand Prix. That just shows how strong this man is around here. He's very much Hamilton-esque around Hungary, isn't he? He's really, really good, isn't he, around this track? Can he win this race? That's the question there. He's done a lot of laps on these hard tyres. I think it'll be a big ass there. But definitely don't count about it. Same with Emerson, but I think he's in front of Emerson as well, because I think both Emerson and Jonathan have got to come in the pits again. So I think that's fantastic how Jonathan's played himself back into play. Really good stuff indeed, and he's only 3/10 or so second away from Matt there, isn't he? He's keeping these tyres very much in range as well. Remember, the man who he clashed with, Bowden, is down in 14th position still. Of course, Bowden also had a second trip to the pits after him and Farf come together as well. 17 cars remain out of the 20 that started. Matt is now going to be under siege, isn't he? Matt, of course, has led a couple of races before in ALR, but now I think his tenure at the top is going to come to an end as Jonathan there is with 15 laps to go, and Jonathan is gaining. He's going on the outside. Matt has stayed on the inside. Jonathan is through and retakes the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And led this race since lap 1. Todd just come out of the pits after another trip then. Bowden set another 3-second penalty. So Jonathan is through and takes the lead then of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Fisher and Chucky is out of the race then. And well, I think he's coming out of turn 12 then. And we got a virtual safety car. Is this going to benefit anyone? Just taking a look to see where everyone is on the map. I think this is probably the wrong time really to well, it depends of course. If you come in the pits then you might you do of course and Chucky's left a session there unfortunately there, so Chucky out of this Hungarian Grand Prix. I don't think it's going to benefit anyone who's near the pits, unfortunately. There, so that's probably the wrong time for that safety car to come out then. Sorry, the virtual safety car. And we'll be getting back green in just a few moments. We're on board Fisher at the moment, and he's just been in front, behind up Mumford. Mumford has been on these tyres since that free there. So Mumford that rolling the dice earlier on in this race, and he's doing a cracking job there. Similar strategy to what Jonathan's on the moment. DRS and then we're back racing here in Hungary then, and yeah. So of course that virtual safety car is meant to neutralise the race, isn't it? Fisher there is very much starting to really put some pressure on Mumford, isn't he? And 7 seconds in front is Granty at the moment, and that is a huge gap for Fisher, isn't it? Albeit, it's a huge gap, isn't it? Granty's definitely very much got the edge at this incredible Hungarian Grand Prix. I keep saying that. Sure, he's got a 3-second penalty. Mumford then has just come out of the last corner. He's gone he's dulled his advantage there, hasn't he? Fisher comes from the outside, comes on the outside, he passes Mumford, moves up in. Oh, and Mumford there giving Fisher a bit of a nudge there. I think just time to get on with it there. Gunnar is in the pit set. Fisher has moved himself up into fifth position. Now we've got Granty and Emerson who are battling away. Remember, these two men battled for the championship last season. This season at the moment, there's a bit of a gap forming between them two. It's about 16 points, which doesn't sound like a lot, but there's a look in front. There's a Red Bull. That is Matt in front as well. So this is really going to bunch. This is really going to bunch this battle up as well. Gunnar coming out of the pits now. He's down in 15th position there, but he's on the medium tire to the end of the race now as well. So he's on the quicker tires, and Stringy is keeping tabs still with Toonfan, who I gotta say, really, it's medium tires towards the end. They were really struggling. Toon has had a problem. And he has dropped down into 13th position there in the Toro Rosso there. And Bowden is now battling away. He's up into 12th position then. Back to this battle here, because I think this is the one that you want to watch, isn't it? Between Grant Emerson and Matt as well. Matt is now 2.1 seconds behind, isn't he? The question I got is what oh, never mind about that. Emerson is up in the second position. He passes Matt. He has moved up in the second position. Matt there is dropping down the order. Remember, Matt, I think it's done 21 laps on those medium tires. My goodness me, Mr. Twinkle Toes, isn't he, Matt? It's incredible how he's looking after those tires. Brilliant stuff. Gunnar has got by Roscoe. Roscoe's dropped down into dropped down to 15th position. Yeah, Matt is doing a fantastic job on those tires. He is really looking after him, isn't he? Fantastic. 21 laps on the medium tire. It's outstanding. It really is. Brilliant stuff indeed. Bowden has got by Striggy and moved up into 11th position. Bowden has been one of the more quicker drivers today, hasn't he? But well, I think that battle there is really not to give it up. There we are. Oh, and Bowden is made where is he? And Bowden, and now Striggy there. Oh my goodness me! And they're all taking bites out of each other. Bowden there. Oh, and that's a Ferrari off the track there. Striggy is retired from the race, and he is out. He had a bit of him and Bowden there was getting and another virtual safety car. Oh my god, that was getting very feisty, wasn't it? So we got a virtual safety car. I wonder if Matt is going to take the advantage to come in the pits now. Then, of course, you do not lose as much time with the virtual safety car, do you? We've lost Toon as well. Toon is out of the race as well. Into the pits comes Emerson and Matt as well. Then that was a really painful hand there, wasn't it? So Emerson into the pits, and what tires to go? It's going to go on the soft tires from here. I think that I'm not sure. Let's take a look. He is on the medium tires, and so yeah, it was a bit of a stretch, wasn't it? Matt is also going on. Matt is on the soft tires, though, isn't he? So he has rolled the dice, then. So Matt is going to be quite quick, isn't he? And Emerson dropping down the order. Then Mumford is staying out. DRS is back enabled. We're back racing in this Hungarian Grand Prix. Ghost Recon is now not too far behind Kingdom as well. Vitol is now moving up to 14th position. We've only got 14 cars left in this race as well. This is a close battle on track there. Let me quickly catch up, guys, because I've been trying to catch up for 23 odd laps. Yeah, so far short, of course, he retired himself. Can't handle stupidity. Darren saying not a clean race as us in silver races. Toon last to 9th, and of course we've got Glock who's saying that log saying the softs are finished, overheating. They should have been them during the safety car. Of course, that was around the first one, isn't it? Yeah, because you've seen all these soft runners there earlier on this race. That's how far beyond the comments I am. Blimey. Yeah, of course, the Virgil said the first safety car, isn't it? The soft tires. There was some guys really strong on the soft tires, wasn't there? We have also got a Carl. We've got 100 saying, what a race so far. I absolutely agree. A brilliant race, wasn't it, Emerson? Now Emerson is now going to be under the cosh, I think, from Matt as well. Matt on the soft tires. Can the soft tires get to the end is the question. We've also got Darren saying, it's Jonathan. Of course he can. Yes, he can he, Jonathan, there from 18th, 19th after the first lap there, is back up into the lead of this race. He's got 2.1 second advantage over Grant. They're coming for him though, isn't it? He's done 22 laps on those tires. Can he babysit him as well to the end? Matt's done 21 laps on the medium tires, so possibly the hard tires can do well, I got to say, they got to do another 10 odd laps though, haven't they? So 32 laps on those hard tires. Well, Darren thinks he can be done. We got Toon saying, no, I lost it after a corner, in the corner after Ben was having an alright race. And Darren saying, bad luck, Toon, good defending, bro. It was cracking, wasn't it? I really enjoyed that. It was very, very good indeed then. Back on board there with Matt, and he is just 5 tenths of a second behind him. We've also got King Zone and Ghost Recon also batting away as well. Let's take stock then. We're on lap 24 out of 35 in this race. 14 cars remain out of the 20 start. Hunter said 35 laps on hards, easy. So yeah, so Hunter thinks Jonathan gets to the end then. I've got to say, Jonathan, this would be probably one of his most incredible drives in his history, maybe a history of ALR for sure. Be an absolutely fantastic driver for Jonathan. And Ghost Recon is having a look at King's over, said come down in the turn 12 then. And again, there you need a lot of cooperation there to get by the car in front down there. But Ghost seems to have the measure over King's, and Ghost had a 5-second penalty, didn't he? Which I think is why he's behind. And Echo is in the pits, and Matt has set the fast out of the race then, so Matt has got that bonus points as it stands at the moment. King's has gone wide then. So where is Echo going to feature in this race? And I reckon he'll be on the soft tires as well. Sam is back at the points. I'd say that Sam had a good race in Monaco, but today I think he's having a more complete race, isn't he? Ghost Recon go on the outside of King's Zone, but King's Zone there running him out to dry there, not letting him go on the outside. 1 iota then, and now they're going into turn 2, and it's still nip and tug at the moment. Emerson and Matt are now all over the back of Mumford. Mumford also, I got to say, Mumford has flown under the radar slightly, hasn't he? He's doing a cracking job in 4th position on the medium tires as well. He's already pitted as well, Mumford has. So, I don't think he needs to pit either. So, fantastic stuff indeed then. As Glock said, it'd be great if Jonathan could win, but enough of a top my race last week. Of course, that's a beautiful plug, isn't it, for us to just say about the Silver Highlights video, which will be coming up to play in no, we're talking. Oh my goodness, Mumford is having a lunch, and oh my goodness, that was a damn dear maneuver, wasn't it? Matt's now going to stick up on the inside into turn. Oh no! And now they've come together, Mumford and Matt. It was getting very feisty. Mumford is dropping down. He hasn't damaged the car. He's all right. Can he? He's coming into the pits, Mumford has. I wonder if he's damaged something else that we can't see. But that's a shame now for Mumford, because I'm not sure if he was going to the end or what. But Matt and Mumford, and he's also got a 5-second penalty. So Mumford, who was having a cracking race, is just all of a sudden, it's all gone wrong, hasn't it? Lovely shot here from Kingdom, by the way. It's Ghost is going on the outside. Is he going to do it? No, not quite then. And Kingdom is still in 6th position. Kingdom is doing a cracking job as well. I've got to say, very much, I'm going to struggle. Well, I think we're going to struggle for driver today here tonight. Brilliant stuff. And where are they? Oh, they're on the outside then as they come through down the hill then. And then before the track starts to climb the hill into turn 4. And Bowden is now in 8th position. And Bowden is doing a cracking job as well of recovering. And Ghost Recon get a 3-second penalty for drifting wide there. Just drifting slightly wide there in turn 4. And Sam is all over the back there of Bowden at the moment, isn't he? But at the moment, so Bowden has got the advantage and he is up into 8th position then. And I think that move has just been made, actually. So we'll leave them to it for now. This move hasn't been made. Ghost Recon is getting very, very animated behind Kingdom. Look at that understeer. That is the dirty air from the car in front, isn't it? Gap at the front is down to 1.2 seconds between Jonathan and Granty. Granty is homing in, isn't he? This is going. I got to say that Jonathan has been absolutely fantastic today, hasn't he? Hunter thinks he was easy, hard tire for 5 laps, and he's still looking good, isn't he? Jonathan is. I don't think he'll pit now. Surely he won't pit now, but I have been wrong with that strategy a lot of times. Echo there is homing in on the back of Sam as well. Sam is still keeping tabs on Bowden. That's the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. We're focusing on the battle for 7th and 8th. For the moment, Ghost is out. Look, that was a very late manoeuvre there from Ghost there. He definitely caught me unaware. I think King's a bit surprised. Well, Fisher's got no 3-second penalty there. I wonder that might start to encourage, intrigue Emerson, who's in 4th position at the moment now in the Mercedes. And of course, Emerson, it looks like today the strategy calls then was to go onto the medium to the hard tire. Was definitely the right call. Emerson was on the soft tire, wasn't he? And then went on to the medium tire, and it's gone on the medium tire again. So the two-slot strategy hasn't worked, has it, for Emerson today, unfortunately? As yeah, I'm all up to strike. I'm all up to date. Then brilliant stuff. It's down to a second now. I wonder how much defensive work Jonathan's going to do. Well, he's going to need a lot of defensive work, I feel. But I wonder how defensive he's going to get in the battle between himself and Granty today. Then Jonathan, I think, has had an inspired day. He broke the record for most pole position in ALR history, and now he has had from like almost last on the last, basically after the collision with Bowden. He has worked his way back up into the lead and has led this race. Has led this race for quite a long period of time now, hasn't he? Can he there defend there with just under? I think it's about 8 laps to go, isn't it? It is 8 laps to go in this race. And it's going to be very difficult for Jonathan there to hold back a charging Granty. Granty going for his 3rd race of the season. Then look how he's on the outside. Ghost is on the outside. Then where's it gone? Kingzo is back through. Ghost couldn't slow the car down, and Kingzo is back through and past the Ghost Recon. Yellow flag in 3. That's a Mercedes off the track. That's who's it? Oh my goodness me! Who is it? It's Fisher! Fisher's off the track! Fisher's off the track there in the Toro Rosso! What's going on for Fisher? Let's take a look. Is he? I was seeing if he's damaged. Looks like he's damaged the left end plate. He has damaged the left end plate. Fisher there, what a shame. We got it's Echo's off the track as well in turn 4. Oh my goodness me. And Sam and Echo have come together. Sam, what a shame, as he was on a cracking of race. He's damaged the end plate as well. What a shame. What's going on in turn 4? They've all of a sudden lost grip out there, haven't they? And Sam is just shooting across the chicane there, and it's getting a bit hasty between these two, isn't he? Echo and Sam there out the way as well. There's Gunnar in the background there. Pit stop there for safety car. We got a safety car in this race, and Fisher, who's just retired. That is a shameful Fisher, isn't it? That safety car might have helped him. Oh no! And now Jonathan's going to be under the caution, isn't he? This is not good at all for Jonathan, is it? He is going to oh my gosh, he is going to this is not good at all for Jonathan, is it? Look here, they come into the pits comes Kingzo. He is changing to the soft compound tire. So is Ghost, so is Bowden, so is Mumford. This is going to be an incredible finish there to the Hungary Grand Prix. I'm going to be I think Fisher's going to be disappointed, isn't he? Because he just retired from the race, didn't he? I'm wondering there if he could possibly have gotten to soft tires and really got a result there. Gunnar is opted to stay out, isn't it? I wonder if Gunnar should have come into the pits and put on the soft tires as well, as he flies by Bowden. Echo in the pits and Roscoe in the pits as well. Got Sam in the pits as also as they're all going on to strategy. Well, Sam is on the medium tire and everyone else, I think, and there's Echo just getting some wing attention there as well. Echo awfully on. Roscoe on the medium tires as well there. So and what about Todd? And Todd there. This is going to bring Todd back into the race as well, isn't it? Granty, who's just up to. So Granty is in the pits. Jonathan's in the pits as well. This is good. I think this is actually, I've read this completely wrong. I think that this might help Jonathan come to the end then. So this might be gold for Jonathan. Remember, they go dear to the Delta time. Emerson is going to be back in the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. I think they're into the pits and the Alfa Romeo. Oh, he's got a 5-second penalty. Jonathan has then, and so he's got to wait for that. So this might have the advantage then too. Granty, he's in the pits now. There's the Alfa Romeo team. They're coming out. Where are they? Granty's gone. Oh my goodness me! Jonathan has lost the lead then. So Granty there is coming up. But where's Matt? Matt's in the pits as well then. So yeah, that I read that completely wrong. Emerson leads then. This strategy, this safety car has absolutely helped Jonathan, and he is now on fresh tires there, isn't he? So an absolutely incredible, inspiring race here from Jonathan today. Absolutely fantastic. Matt, where's he? He's in 4th position. Matt, this is a brilliant race, isn't it? Really is. So Emerson is opted to stay on 7-lap old medium tyres then. Gunar's in the pit as well, so he's going to come on to some soft tyres as well. So we're going to have a lot of fast laps there in the last 6 laps of this. It's going to be a sprint race. This is for the last couple of laps here in Hungary. What a shame there is Fisher out of the race, and I think that Fisher's going to be absolutely disappointed. I think Mumford there is going to pit. Sam there is on the medium tyres as well. He's going to get in front of Gunnar. This is going to be nip and tuck, isn't it? There's Gunnar, but Sam's through. It's Sam's jumping on position. Gunnar is in 10th position. He's in the points now. Never give up. That is Gunnar's motto, isn't it? And he is definitely not giving up in his 41st race start. 41st race start. 41th. I've made a new number, hasn't he? Fisher's session. Todd is in the mix here. I think Todd's been lapped. I don't think they're going to let the safety go. I don't think they're going to let Todd go through early. Roscoe is in the pits and he is putting on a new set of soft medium tyres as well. Roscoe's retired from the race then. So Roscoe is out of this Hungarian Grand Prix. What a shame there from Roscoe. That really is then. And I think it's Todd being let by here. We're on board then with Todd as well. It looks like it did a good job as a ghost car here, because he shouldn't interfere in the race too much there. It's a shame Todd's all the way done there, really. It's just been a bit of bad luck, isn't it? So with the safety car coming out then, so I've got a quick look then. So then this has been great stuff. 100 saying, giving me ideas for tomorrow. Darren saying me too. Of course, these are the silver drivers, aren't they? So Roscoe's left for session, unfortunately. Alhan said, don't worry, it'll rain for us. Yeah, Jordan said, usually does rain in Silverstone, don't it? We had an absolute deluge last week in Silverstone, didn't we? It was absolutely impeccable driver, wasn't it? Though in those awful conditions. Brilliant stuff, Ben. And as of course then, so we're on lap 31 out of 35 then. Let's now quickly go through the running order then in the final stages of this epic Hungarian Grand Prix. Emerson is leading the race, but he's on the medium tyre, isn't he? Everyone else around him is on the soft tyres. Granting is second. Third position is Jonathan. Fourth position is Matt. Fifth position is Kingzone with Ghost Recon in 6th position. Bowden in 7th position, and Mumford 8th. Sam in 9th position. 10th is Gunnar. Echo in 11th position then. And 12th position is Todd then. So then, as you can see then, so Emerson is going to be under attack from all angles, I think, as we come to the final stage of this incredible Hungarian Grand Prix. Glock is as predicted, a crash is incoming. Wow, well, it's been incredible, hasn't it? There's been action all over the show. It's really good stuff indeed. In terms of the retirement list, then we've lost Roscoe, unfortunately, retired in the pits. Fisher did as well after Fisher damaged his car out of turn 4. I think it was turn 4 or 5. And unfortunately retired after that. Toon Fan retired as well. Stringing out the race, Chucky, Young Lights, and Farshot all out of this Hungarian Grand Prix. We have 4 laps. We have 3 laps. It's going to be a sprint race. This is going to be it's going to be all or nothing now. We got 11 cars on the lead lap. We got Vital who's just who's a lap down there. As look, Granty is taking the lead there. As Emerson there is really backing him up there, isn't he? As Granty is still leading this race, and we're just waiting for it to go in now. Now Emerson's gone. Emerson is gone then, so he's trying to leave him behind there, isn't he? So because Emerson needs as much advantage as he can, and they're coming through then to complete lap 32 then. Oh, a severe collision in the background there. Back racing then here in Hungary then. Emerson, Granty, Jonathan, look at him. There's a 3 abreast, isn't there? There is. It is a 2. It's Doom. It is. No, it isn't. It's Bowden on the inside of Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon's dropping down to 7th position. Mumford's damaged the car. Gunnar up in 9th position. No, Sam up in 9th position. Gunnar 10th position. Vital has just been lapped. Emerson is defending for all he's worth then as they come out of turn 3. But Granty he's got so much momentum as they come up the hill into turn 4. Not quite, no. Not quite. And Emerson is holding position and holding station then. Jonathan there just in the background. Don't forget Matt. Don't forget Kings. All Bowden or any of the other guys then there just behind as well. Come through the Mickey Mouse chicane. Here they come. Look at them. Look at them all. It's a train. It's a train. And oh, Bowden there having a good old sniff there in the exhaust pipe of Kingdom at the moment. Look at Emerson there. He's really strong, isn't he? 9 lap old medium tyres compared to the soft tyres. Soft tyres are absolutely as Sam is dropping down the order. Sam is dropping down. He's out of the points. Sam is, what a shame there for Sam there in the McLaren. He's had an all inspiring race there, but do not give up. I know he's only 3 laps to go, but this is going to be a very interesting battle. It's going to be very interesting. Then how can Emerson hang on then to these positions there? Remember in the championship as well, he's now 16 points behind Emerson, and isn't he? he? And again, now look at them all. They're all going fast up there. Emerson is going on the inside. He's turned up the earth, and he is now bowing away. And Granty's going to go on the outside. Is he going to dance on the outside? He has danced on the outside. He is not through. Yes, he is through. He is through and up into, he takes the lead then of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now Emerson's gone wide because Jonathan is going to have a sniff up the inside. Is he? Not quite. And Emerson there defending his position there. Jonathan can see Granty there just wandering off there in the back, in the foreground. And Jonathan needs to get by as quickly as possible if he wants any chance of winning this incredible Hungarian Grand Prix. Brilliant drive from Jonathan today. Absolutely fantastic. He's done absolutely amazing, hasn't he? Matt doing an incredible job in fourth position as well. Really good drives out there from a lot of from all sorts, isn't they? It's really good stuff. Kingdom had an incredible drive from 20th on the grid. Kingdom to 5th. Yellow flag. That's a McLaren. I'll forget who. That's a McLaren. That's a Toon. Sorry, I was told this. And look at them all. They're cheering up to get by Emerson. And Jonathan's going on the outside. Not quite though at the moment. Not quite. And now Jonathan there. He could wait then because he's down. It's a second already. Granty is wandering away then. Granty is on the 34th and last lap. No, he ain't. He's on the 34th and second to last lap. I'm jumping ahead of myself as well. That's why I'm not a checker flag waver. Granty has set the fast out of the race then as he comes on to lap 34 now. Jonathan gaining. Granty there went on. DRS is enabled as well then, so it's going to be one more lap then. It's going to be one lap of Emerson out to defend with DRS as well. It's going to be a tough task, isn't it, from Emerson? But Emerson is battling all the way as well, and he needs these points, don't he? I know it's only round 6, but every point counts in this championship, and he needs these points, don't he, to keep in touch with Granty. This will be Granty's third race win of the season. Emerson has only had he hasn't had a race win at all yet. Emerson hasn't, has he? Which is an incredible start in of itself, isn't it? But he's got 3-second penalties. These 3-second penalties will come back to haunt these drivers at the end of this race. I have no doubt about that. On board there with Jonathan again. Then his as they come through the Mickey Mouse session. Look at them all. It's a trolley train, isn't it? But it's only Emerson who is heading up the train at the moment, then, isn't it? As they come through the second sector now, then brilliant stuff in this incredible Hungarian Grand Prix. It's absolutely outstanding stuff here tonight, isn't it? And look at them all flying through turn 11, then coming down to turn 12. And we got Bowden, who is no Martin Bowden have come together. I'm not even sure. I think Bowden came from another postcode, and Bowden's action pack race is coming to an end there. He's having a tough old race there. See, Bowden is, and what a shame there, coming through on the follow up there. Bowden, wow, Matt there damaging the car. He's having a cracking race, Matt was, and that has just come to nothing. Then Emerson is still second at the moment. Kingshope is 4th. Ghost Recon is 5th. 6th is Mumford. Echo is 7th for Gooder. Sam 8th and 9th. Bowden is retired from the race. Matt is in the pits then, and he's got, I think Matt, if he retires now, should get a point. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think Matt is so Bowden's left for session. He's had a nightmare today, hasn't he? Bowden has. Now Jonathan there is on board. Jonathan then. Matt is retired from the session as well, so I think Matt should get that final point because Todd is a lap behind then. So it's back on board then. Yellow flag in one. It is Matt's car just coming up the pits. What a shame for Matt. He was in 4th position there, wasn't he? He was keeping tabs on this battle here, wasn't he? For possibly a podium as well. Who knows in terms of the penalties that going on there? Ghost Recon and Kingdom have been attached to each other throughout the second part of the race there. Really has been. And they come. Oh, look at Ghost Recon on the background now, getting a bit squirrely there, isn't he? And now, as Granty has come through the second last corner, it's oh dear then, and it's been a very interesting race. Sam is past Gunnar up into 8th position. Granty wins the third race of the season. Second position is Emerson. Third position is Jonathan. 4th is Kingdom. Ghost in 5th position. Mumford in his second race. It's 6th position. Who's got 5-second penalty. Echo moves over to 5th. Ghost 6. Gooder is in 7th position. Wow, fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Brilliant. And Mumford 8th in the end then, but his second race for points then. Well, I've really had my work cut out tonight, haven't I? Granty, his third race win of the season. It's been a cracking start for Granty's point of view, hasn't it? Really good stuff from the Williams driver. I think in terms of all-time stats for Granty, that would actually be his 6th race win there. of his ALR career. That's fantastic, isn't it? He's only one behind Nigel now. Granty there is becoming a legend, isn't he, in the ALR ranks. Fantastic stuff from Granty today. He was 8th on the grid there. He didn't get into any trouble at all and has extended his lead in the Drivers' Championship. I'm not going to make a prediction because last week I completely got it wrong. And hats off to Granty, to Emerson, to Jonathan and Echo, who didn't get any penalties whatsoever. Let's quickly go through the final classification then for the... And Gunnar as well. How can I forget Gunnar? For the final classification from the Hungarian Grand Prix. And Granty there from 8th on the grid to win this race. Brilliant stuff. Emerson there, two-stop strategy. Didn't work out in the end, but he was close, wasn't he? Third position, Jonathan, possibly driver of the day after all the shenanigans that went on the opening lap. Kingdom 4th, from 20th to 4th. Fantastic stuff. Echo 5th, Ghost 6th. 7th is Gunnar. Mumford 8th. Sam in 9th, and Matt will classify 10th position. Todd is 11th. Retirements, Bowden, Roscoe, Fisher, and everyone else. Oh, let me quickly go through the comment section, shall we? Darren saying a mad last couple of laps. It really was, wasn't it? We've also got Nathan Hughes saying, what a nail bite in the last few laps. Well done to Cox for an excellent recovery. Our boy Emerson will prevail by the end of the season, though. Oh, I love it. I think I've just seen Granty sneak out of nowhere and come into the chat. Granty, that was all right, wasn't it?
Wow, that was great. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. Safety cars and yeah, just come out on top of it in the end. But yeah, I don't really know what to say. I'm well chuffed with it.
Yeah, that's your 6th race win of your career in ALR. You're one behind Nigel now, and Nigel's usually the benchmark in terms of records. But that's fantastic. What happened to you in qualifying though? You qualified in 8th. Let's go all the way back to qualifying about an hour ago.
Yeah, so basically I couldn't get a lap in on... Well, no, I did get the lap in, and it didn't feel as comfortable, but it said I could go 5 tenths quicker, so obviously I would have been looking for like at least top 5. Even like throughout the whole qualifying I was like really slow, it didn't feel right. And then, yeah, I sort of, when I was out on my lap on the last one, I crashed. So yeah, I had to start P8 and yeah, just sort of go from there and see what the outcome that could have been for the race.
Oh, absolutely. And in terms of the race as well, you were just clean and consistent. You really were. I must admit, you weren't really on the street much, to be fair, because there wasn't really no action around you, to be honest. But in terms of strategy calls, was it a straightforward medium to hard originally?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was waiting on seeing what Fisher was doing, and obviously because I knew in Q2 he messed up his first lap, so I knew he'd have more tyre wear than myself, and obviously I knew he had pace. Obviously, it showed in Q3. But yeah, no, just sort of see what he was going to do, and then I was going to do it on the next one, and then yeah, go on to the hards, and then I realised where Fisher was, and he was actually battling with a couple of other cars, so it kind of helped me out in a way. But yeah, no, the first lap, I mean, that was crazy. I thought I was going to get wing damage or something. It was quite scary. So yeah, no, good driving from everyone today.
Yeah, I got to say it was an absolutely chaotic first lap. Were you concerned by your Fisher's undercut, or I know you mentioned about him battling in the traffic, which probably helped you. But was you, when you seen Fisher come in, was you tempted to come in on the next lap, or would you just staying with the strategy that you planned?
I was staying with the strategy that was planned. Obviously, I was coming in for lap 16, and obviously he pitted like a couple of laps before. I had like quite a bit of errors to sort of give it a few more pushing. Before I come in, and then yeah, obviously I came in 2 laps afterwards from Fisher, and then went on the hards to the end. And obviously I was catching Jono because, well, I mean, I don't know how many laps he's on and then hards in the end, but yeah, he's done a really good job from the tough first, well, left-hander he had. So yeah, no, congrats to him from getting top 3 again.
Cheers, mate. Well done, Granty. That is your 6th race win of your career. Fantastic stuff. And you've extended your lead in the championship as well. So hats off. A good day today in the office.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No worries. Oh, I think, is Emerson in the party? Because I must admit, I've been yapping away and I haven't really seen what's going on.
I am here. Yep.
Oh, hello, Emerson. Obviously, I knew you was here. I was just... you know. Anyway, second today in the end, you was on an alternative strategy, which I think put you on the back foot. Was that the strategy you was forced into because of qualifying, or what was your thinking behind that strategy?
Well, to be honest, it was a mistake because when the first was it the virtual safety car that came out first, or no, it was the safety car on the first lap. I was playing around the strategy. I was thinking, do I go onto the hards now and then softs it later on, or so I put it onto the mediums because I was like, just because I was thinking of going onto the mediums then, and then softs at the end. But then obviously I was supposed to go onto the hards later on lap 8. But I forgot to change it back. So I kind of just went with it, and it was up and down throughout the whole race. And I thought at one point, when the last safety car came out, I was like, right, I'm going to stay out here. I'll have track position. They won't be able to get past me. But really, I probably should have came in, and I might have been able to get the win as well. But I mean, yeah, up and down. But second place isn't bad at the end of the day. I mean, fair play to Grant, he lost the race. Yeah, Jonathan got very lucky at the end, if I'm honest, because I thought that his tyres were going to have a puncture like Knowlesy last season. But yeah. I mean, second isn't bad considering.
Yeah, definitely. We'll come to John for a minute on that, but yeah. So you mentioned the last safety car. So you wasn't even tempted about going to the softs then. You thought that you thought with this tight track, you wouldn't have been able to. They wouldn't have been able to overtake you. Was that your thinking? Was it?
Well, I was tempted, but I only had used soft left, and I knew Granty had fresh softs, and I presumed that John had fresh softs too. Yeah. And the fact that I only had used softs, I thought I might as well risk it for a chocolate biscuit and to stay out and see how it went. I mean, it kind of paid off because I feel like I probably would have only got second anyway, so I didn't really lose out, I don't think. But I mean, you never know.
I hate to bring this up as well, Emerson, at the moment, because remember when you first joined ALR, you was incredible in terms of the race wins. But we're on round 6, that we've just done round 6 now. You unfortunately aren't had a win yet this season. Is that starting to eat into your psyche, or are you just thinking more along the lines of just getting in these podium positions and just chipping away?
I mean, I won at Monaco.
Did you?
Yeah,
you did, yeah.
Oh, my spreadsheet. Okay,
and also,
ignore that.
Throughout the whole stream, you were saying that I've had 2 pole positions, but I've only ever had 1, so I don't think your stats on me are that great.
Nose is going to fire me. That's it. Oh, sort it out, Meek. Sort it out. Well, anyway, you did have a race win in Monaco, but yeah, never mind then. But in terms of the championship position and stuff like that, Granty at the moment is really. At the moment, he's a man on fire, isn't he? How are you planning on stopping him at the moment? You need to up your game, don't you?
Yes and no. I mean, he is doing really, really well, obviously. But compared to last season, I mean, I had a really good spell, but I also had, what was it? I think I went 7 races without even a podium or something at one point after my first 4 races. So I'm being more consistent overall, I think. So hopefully if I carry on doing that, then you never know. I mean, the points gap isn't too far, I don't think. I mean, I think it was like 15 points before this race. It's probably a bit more, but you take it one race at a time, I guess, don't you? So we'll see how it goes.
Definitely, indeed. Then thank you, Emerson. And I've also realised I've got my P45 coming in the post in the next couple of hours. Coming to Jonathan, who I got to say is a tough call between Kingzome and Jonathan for driver of the day today. But firstly, Jonathan, congratulations on your record 6th pole position of ALR. I think that is definitely a fact. So yeah, that's definitely your 6th pole position of your ALR career. So well done. And what a pole position it was. That was a bonsai of a lap.
I don't even know where it came from, to be honest with you. I was just doing the lap as normal, and I was 2 tenths up in the first sector, then I was like 5 tenths up in the sector, and I thought, hello, I might have a chance of pole here, and I managed to go across the line 7 tenths ahead of my previous time, but it was a great lap, and I'm honoured to have 6 pole positions, but yeah, it was a great race, but I'm happy with 3rd, but I'm not particularly happy with turn 4, sorry.
We'll come to that in a minute because I quite like to produce a bit of controversy. But before we do that, that's your 6th pole position. That's that record has been held since Monaco season 1. So that is a pretty long old record. I think that's the longest record that we had in ALR. So well done to you on that. That's a quality qualifying. That brilliant stuff. And let's come on to the race now as well. You and Boden was side by side. Going through 1, 2, and 3, and there was someone in the comments section like saying they could see that happening, as you two were very, very feisty going up into turn 4 there. Unfortunately, we kind of missed what happened. Is the camera was still panning through all the field there. But what happened between you and Boden? Who calls the incident?
Bogan.
Was he on the outside? Was he going onto the curb? Was he?
Basically we're going in turn 1 into turn 2, going down the straight. He made an attempt to go into turn 4, which you never do, because you'll end up spinning anyway. Then next minute he crashed into me, and then he was just pushing me into the wall, and just continuously pushing into the wall, and it gave me front wing damage, so I got a bit miffed, said a couple of swear words, but anyway. But completely his fault. I'm not happy. And
then, well, let's go on to the positive, shall we? From 18th, I think you were coming out of the pits. You just absolutely battled your way through the field. It was an incredible watch as well. I would say that the one thing that really impressed me was that you keeping your head as well, actually, because if that happened to me on career mode, I would have lost my head and just like thrown the controller of the TV. So so that was an absolutely incredible stuff how you got through as well. And there was a good old battle between 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, and you just navigated your way through. What was your psyche? Was you just thinking one car at a time, or was you still determined about getting that podium and maybe even the win?
I was still determined to get the podium. That's pretty much why I went on the hard tyres, and I was just battling my way through the field and one by one, and I was in the lead, and then the safety car came out, and I was contemplating whether to go like oh damn it, or like ooh, I could put the softs on or something, and so I put the softs on, but for some reason my pit crew wasn't ready for me, which was kind of annoying. But yeah, top 3, happy with that. But like I say, it could have been more. But congratulations to Granny on the win, very well deserved, and you to Emerson for second.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, I would say very well done. I think that I think you've been an absolute star today. And in terms of, and because we're about a quarter of the way through, let's just quickly sum up your championship status so far. Then you are a bit of a drift now of the front front 3, I should say. Are you still in it to win it in your mind?
Yeah, I'm still in it to win it, but I'm just taking each race as it comes, and I'm just taking it from here, and just trying to keep going, trying to get some consistency into my race pace, which I think I might be lacking at the moment, but I'm improving each race. But yeah, I'm just taking it day by day. I'm just taking it race by race and just see how it goes. I'm not rolling anything out yet.
I take everything day by day, hour by hour usually. Well done, Jonathan. Fantastic stuff. And I'd say that's remember that Rosberg was taking it race by race as well, and look what happened there. So anything can happen in ALR still. It is going to be a cracking season, isn't it? Next weekend we are back in Australia. We're down under for the Australian Grand Prix. That is absolutely scintillating stuff. I love Australia. Of course, tomorrow night we are still here actually in Hungary for race 6 of Hungarian Grand Prix in silver. That'll be at 7:30. I got to say, my brain capacity's gone completely. Yeah, you may not see me tomorrow as I've absolutely cooked myself out. We'll be back though tomorrow at 7:30, where the silver guys will be going in action as well. It's been a fantastic season in silver. Can anyone stop Glock? He's absolutely peerless at the moment. Faxan has really been challenging him though in the last race. It was fantastic stuff. See you tomorrow night.